Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
And a pleasant good Thursday evening here tonight from Kindred. The playoffs are drawing closer as with 2 weeks left in the regular season, the Wahpeton Huskies and the Kindred Vikings match up for a little Thursday night football here in AA. I'm Chase Miller alongside Max Bernier, and welcome to our pregame show. Wahpeton at 0-7 on the season in search of their first win in the 2025 campaign following a 55-26 loss against Red River last week. Returning All-Stater in Braden Steffens is having a solid year for the Huskies with 24 receptions for 501 yards and 7 touchdowns for Wahpeton. While for second-ranked Kindred, they're unblemished with a 7-0 record following a hard-fought 27-7 win at Grand Forks Central last week. A win for the Vikings gets them one step closer to being the number 1 seed from the East in the playoffs. Still to come on our pregame show, we'll get to our starting lineups and hear from the coaches. But when we return, it's a look at our out-of-town scoreboard and the latest AA football poll in the state. It's the Vikings and the Huskies for AA football here tonight in Kindred on yourliveevent.com.
Fall is here, and that means harvest will ramp up quickly. How did your planter do this spring? Did you have the correct down pressure? Was your singulation spot on? Did you need row cleaners or a better closing system? This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Have a safe and profitable harvest.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
As we continue on our pregame show here tonight from Kindred, taking a look at the latest AA poll and games across North Dakota that are going on tonight and alongside tomorrow as well. Here in AA football, you have Fargo South at Grand Forks River. That game already kicked off here a half hour ago. Watford City at St. Mary's. Dickinson visiting Devil's Lake. All those games again in the 6 o'clock hour. And Jamestown at Minot North. The lone game tomorrow on yourliveevent.com that involves a two-way competition. Grand Forks Central at Central Cass opening kickoff at 7 o'clock. Games tonight on yourliveevent.com. Lisbon at Sargent County with Brent Dick. That's in Gwinner. Four Winds Minnewacan at New Rockford Cheyenne with Greg Grenz here this evening with Four Winds Minnewacan and New Rockford Cheyenne Maddock. And you have a little volleyball with Josh Boyko in Castleton as Central Cass hosts Lamort Litchfield-Marion as well. Latest two-way football poll in the state. Minot North number 1 with Kindred number 2. Devils Lake 3 with Grand Forks Central 4 and Red River 5. Central Cass is receiving votes. Going into play here this evening, Kindred is number 1 in the East at 3-0 in the region. You have Red River, Central Cass, and Grand Forks Central all tied at second in region play at 2-1 with Fargo South and Wahpeton 0-3 respectively. The only team that's officially eliminated from postseason contention, the Wahpeton Huskies. South needs to win out with a win tonight against Red River, and then they would have to also have Red River lose out, having back-to-back losses to sneak in as the number 4 seed for the Bruins. And then everybody else, Kindred, Red River, Central Cass, and Grand Forks Central, pretty much has a chance to be 1 or 4, barring how these last 2 weeks fare out here across the state of North Dakota. We'll keep you apprised of all the scores then and more still to come, but when we return here on our pregame show, we'll hear from the coaches. First up is Wade Gilbertson here for the Wahpeton Huskies. Also from there, we'll hear from Eric Bergad of the Kindred Vikings. That and more still to come tonight. Hear from Kindred on our pregame report. We'll sit down with the coaches next on YourLiveEvent.com.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting, with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Catch all the action of the fall postseason for Minnesota and North Dakota high school football and volleyball on YourLiveEvent.com.
Going down the field, it's picked off here from Kindred. Tanning Johnson to the 30, to the 25. Johnson, could he go? Yes, sir! A 45-yard pick six for
Takes it up, played high in the air by Horkin. Here's risky left side off of a touch. Kept alive Thornton. Now played high. Angle, Saverson, smash! Count, good!
Check out the postseason schedule on YourLiveEvent.com.
Make your stop before or after the game at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. Stop out throughout the week for mouth-watering lunch specials weekdays and mark Friday nights down on the calendar for prime rib, ribeye steak, or some walleye at the Knickerbocker. For more information or to find out about daily specials, give the Knickerbocker a like on Facebook by searching the Knickerbocker. Great food and good people. You can find it all at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. Join us now from the Wahpeton Huskies for our coaches' conversation is Wade Gilbertson here ahead of the opening kickoff in Kindred tonight as they tangle with the Vikings. Wade, let's just start the last game against Grand Forks Red River, a team that's really starting to find their mojo, so to speak, at the midway point of the season for the Rough Riders. What was something that you took positive from that game, albeit a loss, that you hope to take with you here against Kindred and Fargo South at the end of the regular season here?
Well, I thought that our offense started to click a little bit more, and it has been starting to click throughout the season. We're starting to get guys healthier throughout the season. We've lost a couple of players for the season, and so some of those guys that had to replace were quite young, and they've had their growing pains. But we're starting to kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together offensively. And so it was nice to see us move the ball as well as we did against their scheme because, like you said, Red River has gotten exponentially better, I think, since the first game of the season. And we kind of hit a lull there at the first part of the season and trying to get young guys coached up to be varsity Friday night players. And so it was nice for us to see our offense start to click a little bit. We had our first 100-yard rusher of the season. We scored a number of touchdowns against them, and the one thing that I was really happy with is we scored in the second half. We scored sounds weird to say that, but we scored in the third quarter for the first time all season, and that's one of my big goals as an offensive play caller. Is if you can score in the third quarter, you're going to have a chance in the end. Unfortunately, we weren't able to stop them, so we had to go for it on a couple of fourth downs in our own territory, give them the ball back, and that hurt us quite a bit in the end.
Yeah, and you had a special teams play as well for a kickoff return. Just kind of, what do plays like that kind of do for a team when you can get that third phase, so to speak, making a big return or getting a block or putting yourself up in quality field position here, Wade?
Yeah, that's a huge boost to our team, both the kids that are on that kickoff return and to our sideline as well. When we return one of those things, it gives us a boost of energy. It kind of gives us a kick in the butt a little bit. We did the same thing against Grand Forks Central a little bit earlier in the season. We took one back after being down 2 scores. and it immediately got us back into the football game. And it's unfortunate that it has to take that, but it gave us that kick in the butt, and we went into the locker room tied with them at halftime against a really tough Grand Forks Central team. And then last week, we get that kickoff return out of Braden Steffens, and yeah, that again gave us a little bit of a boost. It kind of made us believe a little bit. So it's really nice to get that third phase involved for sure. It's been the last couple of games, it's been a pretty good offensive play for us.
I know anytime you mentioned the word and said Braden Steffens, some folks will remember him as the basketball player. Some will remember him as the all-state player from last year on the football field. Obviously, he's one of those guys, put a stick in his hand, and he probably will do really well here, Wade. But what does he do that the folks don't see on the practices or just throughout the course of a week that's not, so to speak, on the football field as much as a really good player he is between the lines?
Yeah, everybody's going to see him, excuse me, on the basketball court, and they're going to see that he's a competitor. They're going to see him on the football field and see that he's a competitor, but they don't see what he's like Monday through Thursday, like what you're talking about. And to me, he's the kind of kid that shows up to work and shows up to get better every single day. Never complains about what we're doing, about anything with our scheme, never complains about any of the drills we ask of him, never complains of any of the scenarios we put him through in practice. And he has a type of quiet leadership. He's not a rah-rah guy, but you know that he has fire inside of him by just watching the way that he practices. You're watching him yesterday in practice or watching him on Monday in practice, and you probably couldn't tell that it was a Monday or a Tuesday. You might think that it was a Friday with the effort that he was giving. And not every young person has that. There's a lot that do, but not every one of them have that. And to me, I think that's worth its weight in gold. When you get a kid that's going to show up on a Monday or a Tuesday and he's going to put in effort like it's a Friday night, he's going to be successful in whatever he does.
Wade, when you put the Kindred Vikings, your opponent, on film, it's a shorter week here with it being a Thursday night instead of a Friday night kick, with some of the schools being off in the region, with most teams playing here on this Thursday night, particularly in 2A football. Just what stands out for the Vikings, point of view when you're scouting them here this season?
Their size, their speed, their experience. We go into this week trying to game plan against them, and it's awful hard to game plan being outsized. It's awful hard to game plan being not as fast as they are. So that's one thing really that sticks out to me is they're going to try to run the football against us, I'm assuming, and they're going to try to lean on us, and they're going to try to take advantage of their just sheer size over us, and of course their experience over us as well. But I couldn't be more excited about the challenge that's ahead of us and ahead of our young men going into the season. Like I said, we got a lot of young guys on both sides of the football, and we've got young guys that have really never played against this kind of competition before. And I'm really excited to see how we respond to that.
Final thing that I have for you, Wade, and when you look at your roster, there is a bevy of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and with a sprinkling of seniors. And for some of these players, they get that first opportunity to be a varsity starter or maybe on the depth chart, so to speak, playing some special teams or coming in on different situations. So how do you try to mold a team? Every year is a little bit different, but how do you try to mold a team that maybe is youthful to get them up to speed as best as possible so you feel comfortable with the play calls or you just feel comfortable with them on the football field? Because every year is a little bit different in its own right, bringing back a ton of experience or almost bringing back 9 fresh new starters on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and to me, I think bringing back a bunch of upperclassmen with a bunch of experience, some coaches may think, or some people may think, that you don't have to come down on them quite as hard. They'll show up and they'll work every single day. To me, it's kind of backwards that way. I think when you have an experienced veteran team coming back, I think that you can be much harder on them. You can do a lot more things with them in practices and in games. And with the young kids, you have to understand that sometimes they don't have that experience, obviously, on that Friday night lights. And you're going to have to be patient with them. Their learning curve isn't going to be what a 3-year starter is going to be. And so we've tried to have as much patience as possible to bring them along because it's a learning thing. And I mean, if you're a sophomore that's starting on the varsity for first time and you really never got a lot of JV reps, you only got 1 season of JV reps, that's going to be really tough to step on the field on a Friday night. And so just the patience, the understanding that the learning curve's not going to be there just yet. That's kind of our biggest obstacle right now.
Hey, Wade, thank you so much for your time and best of luck here tonight against Kindred and as you close out the regular season against South next week.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
That again, Wade Gilbertson, head coach of the Wahpeton Huskies, will continue with more on the pregame after this here on your LiveEvent.com.
Buying a new home, but worried about the interest rate and terms from your bank? At First Class Mortgage, we'll find a mortgage that fits your needs. Shopping national banks and other lenders for the lowest rate and most affordable terms, saving you time and money. So all you need to worry about is enjoying your new home. First Class Mortgage, our expertise, your peace of mind. Put an expert to work for you. Call today.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial sales and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered, servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
As we continue on our coaches' conversation here today in Kindred, as the Kindred Vikings welcome in the Wahpeton Huskies on Parents' Night, and joining us here is Eric Bergad, the head coach for the Vikings. And Eric, let's just kind of recap the Grand Forks Central game first before we talk about a short week and getting ready for another home game here. Just what did you like about your team's performance to go on the road to Grand Forks against a quality club in Grand Forks Central and come away with a road victory?
Yeah, I thought that was a really nice win for us. It felt like it was a game where we maybe came out a little slower offensively than we wanted to be, and we felt like that was within our own control. Just made some mistakes, and but throughout that, I thought we handled the adversity pretty well. You know, as a defensive group, it was a goal for us to get a turnover early, to get one in the first quarter, and ended up with two. So if you can kind of steal those possessions and then just kind of gather yourself offensively and find ways to get it in, you're usually going to find success. So yeah, as a whole, we thought that was a good win for us. We liked how we played on D. We liked how we closed out the game with a strong rushing attack. So pretty balanced and pretty good complementary football, we thought.
And you host Wahpeton here tonight. It's a shorter week with the game being played on a Thursday than your traditional Friday. So no matter who you're playing here, Eric, what's just the difficulty as a coach having one less day to prep for an opponent here on game week?
I think you're just so, for us, it feels like we're so routine. You know, Monday always feels the same. Wednesday always feels the same. And when you got to change up that schedule, it's just different for the coaches, different for the kids. But you still got pieces of the practice that you want to keep intact. And so I had a little bit of a longer Tuesday. You got to run through all your special teams and make sure you got good reps on that, where typically that's broken up within 2 days. And same for O&D too. It's just less time. So you got to be efficient with your work. We had our install meetings a little earlier in the week than we typically do. So kids are handling it well, and it'll feel the same for them as it feels for us too. So you got to keep that in mind.
You mentioned special teams when you put Wahpeton on tape. Obviously, they've had a couple kickoff returns and punt returns that have gone to the house or really flipped the field here. Eric, and their offense is coming along as well throughout the course of the year. So when you put Wahpeton on tape, what's an area that you kind of circle saying, okay, this is going to be a part of the game that we need to do well against the Huskies?
Yeah, our kickoff coverage is definitely one that we got circled. They're explosive, and they found ways to use their special teams and turn it into points, and that's such an advantage for a team. So big emphasis for us to limit their action on their kickoff return. And then other things we see out of them is good athletes on the field. They do a really good job with their offense. Their quarterback is just really nifty with the football, good ball handler. He runs it really well, so he can distribute it on the perimeter. He can really strong arm. He can send it vertical and attack you downfield, or he can beat you with his feet. So got to be able to contain him and have a good game plan to manage that. And then our goal offensively is to always be able to establish the run. So that'll be a point of emphasis coming into tonight's game.
Talk about some of your guys, particularly on the defensive side. Jeremy Knight at the linebacker spot. Just how have you liked his progression so far throughout the season here in 2025?
So much growth. He was a kid that had a really good summer, and we knew he was going to be fighting for time coming into the season. But just first time playing at the varsity level, and played well as a freshman at the JV level, and we thought we could get more out of him just because of what he showed on special teams last year, and just his speed and athleticism, and he's pretty heavy shoulder pads he hits. So, the reads and everything that he had to go through as a varsity linebacker challenge originally, but he just stayed the course and, kept taking the practice reps and, learning from his mistakes on Friday nights. And yeah, he's made a ton of growth over the season, and he certainly played his best game against Grand Forks Central. So when you got guys that can come in and fill roles like that, that's a huge advantage.
And another player as well, Fisher Johnson, similar question, just kind of how have you seen him mold himself into the season and get his opportunities here this year?
Yeah, Fisher's had such a good attitude this season. He came in fighting for linebacker reps, similar to Jeremy, and due to injury, we've kind of moved him around. He's played outside backer for us. He's played inside backer. But I think wherever we put him, he just adds a spark to that position group, and he's just always ready to roll. He makes the plays when his name is called, and he's doing an awesome job too. So you never want to build your depth by injury, but it's kind of the situation we're in, and both of those guys, so proud of just how they've prepared, the attitude that they approach practice with each week, and then you see him performing well on Friday night. So really pleased with them.
Final thing for you, Eric, before we let you go, you finally got to have a true home game against the Fargo South, your final 2 games of the season, also at home. How fun is that from a community perspective, from a coach's perspective, just a program perspective, after the 3 of the first 4 games were at Horace on the season, to now have the final 3 of the last 4 games, so to speak, on home turf there in Kindred?
Yeah, it's fun. It's just good to have that routine back, just to be in your own locker rooms, to be able to go over to the cafe for our meal before the game, like all that stuff. It's got a good feel to it, and you want the kids to have those memories and be playing on their home field. So real happy to be back here, and field looks great, and yeah, we hope we can get a few more of them.
Hey, Eric, as always, thanks so much for your time, and best of luck against the Huskies here this evening.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chase.
That again, Coach Eric Bergad with us here on our pregame show. We'll continue with more after this around the corner in Kindred.
Public School District looks to collaboratively cultivate an environment that challenges learners to reach their full potential in a student-centered, community-supported environment while building authentic relationships that promotes active engagement in learning, literacy, and life. Kindred Public Schools' mission is to educate, prepare, and maximize student potential. Kindred Public School District, student-centered, community-supported. For more info about upcoming school events and news, go online to kindred.k12.com. purplewave.us.
Buying and selling heavy equipment at purplewave.com saves time and money. We handle all of the details, including pictures, videos, marketing, titles, and payments.
It was almost immediately over the top with the customer service. I've just never ever experienced that before with any other auction service. They're constantly working for me as the seller, and I really like that.
Purple Wave Auction is straight, simple, sold.
The Ringneck is the perfect stop for lunch or dinner in Leonard, North Dakota. They have a wide variety menu from burgers, wraps, steak, chicken, and seafood. For that small-town family-owned dining experience, check out the Ringneck today. To place an order ahead of time for takeout, call 701-645-2461. That's 701-645-2461. For more information and daily food specials, search the Ringneck on Facebook. That's the Ringneck in Leonard. Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. Three, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
As we continue here on the pregame show tonight on Parents' Night here in Kindred, Chase Miller with you here alongside with Max Bernier. Thank you so much for tuning in to our broadcast here on this Thursday evening. Note the opening kickoff, that was won by Kindred, and they elected to defer to the second half. So we will see the Wahpeton Huskies out offensively for the first time this evening. And it kind of still has that hint of summer-esque weather a little bit. The wind blowing in from the south, coming in pretty good. So if you're going left to right tonight into the wind, you will be punting, kicking, or throwing against it. If you're going from right to left or from south to north, you will be making your way with the wind at your back here this evening. Around town football score, interesting one already at Cushman Field in Grand Forks between Red River and Fargo South. Fargo South still has a chance to make the playoffs, but they need to win out, and then Red River has to lose out. Red River leads 14-12 with just over a minute left to play in the first half. If South loses that game, they're officially eliminated, and the four teams that will make up the playoffs in two-way football this year will be Wahpeton, Central Cass, Central Cass Kindred, Grand Forks Central, and Grand Forks Red River with the seed lines up in the air, barring the outcome also of what tomorrow would be with Central and Grand Forks Central and Central Cass. So some stuff to still figure out, but Wahpeton officially eliminated. If Fargo South lose, they would be officially eliminated, and we would know who our four teams would be left to go here in the 2A playoff football race. But that again, 14-12 at Cushman Field between the Bruins and Red River. Also, Watford City losing to Bismarck St. Mary's 21-0 at the half. Bismarck St. Mary's at 1-2 in the West. Watford City sits at 2-1, so St. Mary's trying to elevate themselves up to the standings. Minot North has the whole shot for the number one seed out west at 3-0. Devils Lake, Watford City at 2-1. St. Mary's and Dickinson 1-2, and Jamestown sits at 0-3. So we'll keep you apprised of what's going on out west tonight as well. And then in 11A football, Lisbon leads at the half over Sargent County 6-0, and Thompson is losing against Carrington at the half, a 7-0. Thompson already has made a playoff spot, but it's a matter of are they the 3 or the 4 from Region 2 in 1A football, and where would they go then from there next weekend. The opening round of the North Dakota 9-man in 1A football playoffs will be next Saturday across the state. 2A and 3A will be on Halloween night. That Friday on Halloween will be the quarterfinal round here for 2A and 3A football in North Dakota. And if you want postseason, well, go just across the river to Minnesota as section volleyball begins Monday. Section football begins Tuesday. You can listen to it across our R&J radio signals of 106.5 KRJB, 101.5 KRJM. Go to our website, yourliveevent.com, and check out what games we'll have upcoming as well for postseason, both North Dakota and Minnesota football here over the next few weeks. And a note, next week, cross country makes their way to Jamestown. The B will be on the 24th with the A on the 25th. So that'll be Friday afternoon out in Jamestown. And stay tuned to your live event for our state cross country preview show. That'll be coming at you next week, midpoint of next week. We'll hear from Kindred and a host of other schools across the state of North Dakota. The Wahpeton Huskies 0-7 on the season, 0-3 here in the conference. Head coach is Wade Gilbertson, 25 years with the program, 7 years as a head coach, coming off a season ago in which they made the playoffs and had a semifinal round appearance with a mark of 6-5. While on the opposite side for head coach Eric Bergad here, third year already as the head coach for the Kindred Vikings, 7-0 on the season for the second-ranked Vikings. Kindred has won 53 of their last 56 games since 2021, and they look to add on to that category here a little bit later on this evening as well. With the win for the Vikings, they'll get to 8-0 on the season and have a chance to have a perfect regular season next week when they host Central Cass on yourliveevent.com in 8 days. Well, for the Wahpeton Huskies, they will wrap up their regular season at home next Friday, hosting the Fargo South Bruins. He's Max Bernier. I'm Chase Miller. We're back with the starting lineups and the opening kick here from Kindred tonight for AA Football and Parents Night here in Kindred from Jerlow Field at Sanford Health Sports Complex here on your live event.
Fall is here, and that means harvest will ramp up quickly. How did your planter do this spring? Did you have the correct down pressure? Was your singulation spot on? Did you need row cleaners or a better closing system? This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Have a safe and profitable harvest.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
As we come back here on yourliveevent.com, as we get ready for the starting lineups here for the Wahpeton Huskies, they'll be out in their all-white uniforms here tonight with their purple helmets with the white Husky paw, the purple numerals here outlined in yellow here for the Wahpeton Huskies. They'll go like this. At a left tackle is Luke Anderson, the 6'3" senior at 245 pounds. You have Hunter Belkey, a guard at 5'9", 180 at the left guard spot. The center of Isaac Anderson, a 6'1" sophomore at 215 pounds. From there, Ryan Flack, the 6'2" junior at 195 at the right guard spot. And the right tackle is going to be Elijah Roberson, the 6'1" sophomore at 230. Wide receivers of Isaiah Brushert, the senior at 175, stands at 6 feet tall. Cooper Kumo, the sophomore wide receiver, 19 receptions and 2 touchdowns here on the year for Wahpeton. Caden Bart, the 5'11" junior, here at a wide receiver spot, and Braden Steffens, an all-state returner here for the Huskies from a season ago, the 6'1" senior at 175. Running back is a 5'9 senior, Michael Peterson, with 1 rushing touchdown with 418 yards on the ground this year. And the 6'1 sophomore quarterback, Jack Gilbertson, 500 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions here on the season. The Huskies head coach is Wade Gilbertson, offensively averaging 15 points per game and 262 yards of total offense. As we turn our attention now to the team clad in blue here this evening, that is the Vikings here on Parents' Night. As Kindred, they will roll like this here defensively with their front side. Lincoln Swenson at a defensive end, a 6-foot senior at 210 pounds. Also on the front is Brody Mauk, a 6'1 junior at 250 pounds for the nose guard. Another defensive end, a junior at 6'5", 260, Luke Starcevic. Starcevic just keeps getting in Division I offers here to play football. Starcevic again, the defensive end. Linebackers of Miles Theogis, a 5'11 junior at 175, with Jeremy Knight, a 6'2 sophomore who's played awfully large here this season for the Vikings. Another linebacker here for Kindred. Tannen Johnson, a 6'1 senior with 42.5 tackles on the season, a team leading in that category here for Tannen. Fisher Johnson, the 5'11 junior, also at the linebacker spot. In the secondary, defensive backs of Jackson Schliemann, the 5'10 sophomore, and you have Sawyer Hess, a 5'9 corner. And safety is Gabe Whipple, the senior, at a free safety spot, and Brooks Baca with a team leading 7 interceptions for the 6'5 junior at 205, also getting a bevy of Division I offers here for collegiate football as well. Baca again at the strong safety spot. For the Kindred Vikings this season, defensively giving up 10.5 points per contest for head coach Eric Bergad's club. The Vikings looking for their 8th win of the season, while for the Huskies looking for win number 1. That does it for our pregame show and starting lives. When we come back, opening kickoff next in Kindred.
EarthND.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Sometimes you're worried about snow at this time of the year, but we got folks out there in their T-shirts, some are in their hoodies, some may be wearing a stocking cap. Regardless, nice night here for a little high school football as we transition from middle to latter part of October here on YourLiveEvent.com. Max Bernier, run the camera. Chase Miller with you here tonight. Also a reminder, high school football tomorrow night on YourLiveEvent.com. Good two-way football matchup, Grand Forks Central at Central Cass at 7 o'clock, so join us for that one. Also, for more high school football tomorrow, and then volleyball on Monday. Check out our website or simply subscribe to our YouTube channel. As we put this one on the tee here, as Tanner Mangi here will put this one on the tee. Opening kick at 7:07, and we're off and rolling here in Kindred. This will go to the outside to Steffens. Steffens gets the 25 and gets met there as the Wahpeton Huskies will handle it at about the 25, 26-yard line for their first possession here of the contest. Something we talked with Coach Bergad and Coach Gilbertson of is Wahpeton has had the ability to have big-time playmaking starts at different times throughout the course of this season from the spot for the kickoff. As Kindred does a good job on that one. As we'll see Jack Gilbertson here in the shotgun formation, and we get our first whistle of the game, and our white hat Adam Jones will be right on bat, as this looks to be a false start here on Wahpeton. We'll see what this one eventually is, and it is a false start here on the Huskies. Our officials tonight, Adam Jones as the referee. The umpire is Craig Schwinden. Head linesman is Brent Miller, no relation. You have Travis Martin at the line judge, and the field judge of Dylan Dunn, a former Shanley Deacon in Dylan Dunn as well. Two wide receivers, left-handed side, one near sideline. They'll try to put Steffens on an island here and have his playmaking ability. Motion man coming across here as they're going to have a little swing pass. This will go to Peterson. Peterson picks up a block, then gets stuck right at the line. Good play on the outside here for the Vikings, able to shed off the block, and then eventually coming down and making the play here for Kindred. as that one's going to be Lincoln Swenson. Swenson at the defensive end spot comes in with a nice tackle that brings up a second and along about 15. So they will actually give that a 1 yard on the loss on the play. Shotgun again for the Huskies. Trips left, one to the near sideline. Vikings with 3 down linemen. We'll see if they bring pressure or if they just stay with 3. They'll stay with 3. High snap, ball's on the turf. Gilbertson able to pick this one up. Rolls to the left-hand side at the numbers, and Gilbertson does a good job at least getting back close to the line, as that one could have been ever so dangerous there for the Huskies. And they will mark him out of bounds a little bit farther back to the 14, so that will be a loss of 6 on the play. And this is an area, I don't care if you're Wahpeton, Central Cass, Grand Forks Central, you do not want to be in 3rd and a mile here against this Kindred defense, especially with Starcevic, Malk, and Swenson up on the line where they can pin their ears back. So for the Huskies, what do you got in your play call sheet here for a 3rd down and a country mile? Twins left, trips the near sideline here for Gilbertson. As Kindred shows some pressure, motion man comes across, high snap as Gilbertson has to roll to the near side, fires, throws, looking for a man, incomplete at the 35. Not a bad play call as Kumo was able to get behind at least the 2nd level and trying to get to the 3rd level. Baco there on the coverage alongside with him and Miles Steelgis, but quickly it's a 3 and out for the Wahpeton Huskies. As Baco goes back to stand at the 45, mind you, Wahpeton is kicking into the wind here. Their punter and Jack Gilbertson, also their quarterback, averaging 37.5 yards per punt this season. As Kindred, they have 8 men at the line. See if they're going to try to come and block this one as Gilbertson in the shadow of his own end zone nearly here. There's a clean snap. Here's a right-footed end-over-end kick, but it hits the wall of wind. And this one will make its way where? It was out of bounds at about the 30, 25, or 20. And they're going to mark it here as they keep moving up the field, as this was out of bounds at the 15, and the official keeps going, as there was a penalty though on the Vikings, as this one will be a roughing the kicker. So I followed the football, not so much the end of the play, and this will go up against Kindred. So this was from the 15-yard line and mark it off there. And so for the Vikings, they will give up the 15 yards, and more importantly, from the Wahpeton Husky perspective, it's not a 3 and out. They get their offense back on the field. So if you're Wahpeton, you get your second chance here, if you will, as we'll see a 1st down and 10 for the Huskies now at the 30. Wahpeton back in that shotgun formation with Gilbertson. As Gilbertson, high snap yet again. Gilbertson able to hand it, looking for the little tunnel screen to Steffens, and Steffens able to get north to south and pick up a couple of yards on the play. Vikings come in on the tackle as that was going to be Erdman. Erdman, the junior, comes in, but Steffens does get a gain of about 4 to 5 yards. And for Steffens, that's his 25th reception of the season for now 506 yards. Trips near sideline, 1 to the left. 2nd down upcoming for the Huskies. And so far the center, and Isaac Anderson looking to hit Gilbertson on a clean snap. This one just a little bit high. Gilbertson has some time, though. Steps up, fires, throw, looking up the seam for Steffens. Steffens, oh, can't bring it in. Steffens nearly had it to turn the field position around, but incomplete. Sawyer Heston on the coverage batted that one away right when Steffens was able to come up with it. Not a bad throw by Gilbertson into that wind at all, as that was back at his own 30 to about the opposite 30 of nearly 40 yards. Huskies took a shot. They don't convert, but brings up a 3rd down and medium here for Wahpeton. But you can tell what the Huskies want to do with Steffens. If you're not going to bracket or double him, they're going to say we're going to give our stud an opportunity to go make a play. And now for the Vikings, trying to get off the field here on 3rd down. Huskies, they need the 39 for the 1st. Play action, Gilbertson rolling near side, going in the flat. This will be incomplete, as they were looking for the tight end there defensively to bat that ball away. Immediately was Miles Steelgis. And with 10-10 left to play here in the opening quarter, the Wahpeton Huskies now will have to come out and punt this football away one more time. I'll see how safe the Vikings want to play this one. Baco, after seeing that first punt, takes a couple of steps even closer towards the line of scrimmage as returner. He's at the 40, about 25 yards away from the line of scrimmage. Wahpeton will motion out their 2 returners, or their gunners. Right-footed kick. There's a kick by Gilbertson that'll hit the wind tunnel, take a Husky bounce into Kindred territory to the 47-yard line. And it'll be a punt of nearly 17, 18 yards, and the Huskies will have to punt this football away. For the Kindred Vikings, with 10:02 left to play here in the first quarter, great starting field position for the first time this evening at their own 47-yard line. As for Kindred, they will come out here with their center of Brody Mauk. You have Mayo Stroh and Lincoln Swenson at guards. Left tackle of Tannen Johnson and Hudson Kozowski here also on the line. We'll get to the rest of the starters offensively and defensively after the play from Gabe Whipple. Motion man going left to right across the formation. They will hand it off there. This will go to Miles Steelgist. Steelgist has a little bit of a room in daylight. Gets the first down and some, as that'll be a gain of 12 yards. And you got Luke Starcevic, the tight end spot, wide receivers of Brooks Bacco and Graham Hess. Theelgis and Sawyer Hess, the running backs, and Gabe Whipple here at the quarterback position for the Kindred Vikings. Huskies up front, you have Hunter Belke, a defensive tackle, nose guard of Luke Anderson, and another D tackle of Isaac Anderson here for Wahpeton. Brings up a first down and 10 Kindred. First play in Husky territory here, trips to the near sideline. As Whipple will roll near side, sets up the screen. This will go to Starcevic. Starcevic able to get to the 30 and wrapped up at about the 29-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 12 yards on the play. Move the pocket, hit Starcevic. That's a first down, 2 plays, and back-to-back first downs here for Kindred. Wahpeton with Isaiah Brushert, the linebacker, with Ryan Flack. You have Trenton King also at linebacker and Michael Peterson. Cooper Como with Bonchis at the defensive back spot. Kanan Barth and Braden Steffens here at safeties, respectively, for the Huskies. Under 9 minutes to play on yourliveevent.com. Kindred will come out with Whipple here for the senior, who has now over 1,000 passing yards on the season. We'll give this to Bacco. Bacco out the edge, gets to 25. Bacco makes a man miss and eventually makes his way for another first down. As this will make its way to about the 17, so a gain of 12. So Bacco on that little jet action, able to get to the boundary and pick up a first down and some here for the Kindred Vikings. Chunk plays for Kindred, averaging 360 yards of total offense here on the season. 149 yards passing with 211 on the ground for the Kindred Vikings. As they will come out, twins to near sideline here. One to the right-handed side as Theelgis is the motion man in the backfield. As this will be a handoff to the near side, making his way to the boundary. This looks to be Sawyer Hess. Is he in the end zone? Yes, sir! A 17-yard rushing score for Sawyer Hess, his 8th rushing touchdown of the season, and the Vikings strike first as they lead it 6-0. Able to have a crease and some on that cut by Sawyer Hess. Give credit to Tannen Johnson, Miles Stroh on the left-handed side, set the edge. And once he gets Sawyer going, he can rumble his way into the end zone for his 8th score. A running back that's averaging 8.5 yards per rush. Point after attempts coming on here for Graham Hess. 27 of 32 with the PAT so far this season. Kicking with the win, right-footed kick. The right-footed kick goes into the jet stream, and it's good. 8:10 left to play in the opening quarter. New score, Kindred 7, Wahpeton scoreless.
Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side, corner 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
Fall is here, and that means harvest will ramp up quickly. How did your planter do this spring? Did you have the correct down pressure? Was your singulation spot on? Did you need row cleaners or a better closing system? This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Have a safe and profitable harvest.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and RJBroadcasting.com, local voices from local radio.
As we come back here on YourLiveEvent.com, Steffens with a nice return from the 25-yard line, gets into Kindred territory at the 40, and right on cue to what we talked about in the pregame, that Wahpeton is dangerous here on the special teams, and they show it there as they will start inside Kindred territory here at the positive 40-yard line for the Huskies. For the Vikings, 4 plays, that goes 53 yards and a touchdown. As you'll see it now here for Wahpeton, as they will come out with a shotgun formation, as they will see it now here for Jack Gilbertson. As Gilbertson fakes it, throws it near side. This one making its way for Bonchis, who gets stuck. Really nice play on the outside by Miles Theologis. That's a tackle of loss for 2. So far for Gilbertson, 3 of 6 through the air for 3 yards. As they're able to get that one to the outside. And Bonchis just really had nowhere to go as Theologis was beelining right towards him, able to read that play and also go make a play. As we'll see the shotgun twins left run to the right-handed side here in Steffens. 7:25 in the opening quarter. In the gun is Gilbertson. Gilbertson to Steffens, incomplete at the 39-yard line. You're just giving Steffens a 5-yard out on the play, and he's going to have that no matter it's this game or against Fargo South. He's got the speed and the strength to get by a respective corner and get to the outside. So as a corner, and we've already seen them have Steffens go up the seam for a big play down the field that was broken up by the secondary of Sawyer Hess. So that kind of goes in the back of your mind. You don't want to give up the big play. That'll be a 3rd down here for Wahpeton, trying to capitalize on great starting field position. Vikings, 1 defensive play from getting that punt team on the field. Gilbertson rolling left-handed side, getting chased. Gilbertson going to tuck and run. And now for Wade Gilbertson, an interesting call here as you had Jack get some positive yards to about the 36, 37-yard line. And we'll bring up a 4th down, but again, with the wind, with what we saw in the last kick, probably going to go for it kind of in no man's land here, as able to get 5 yards on the play and bring up a 4th down. They will need the Vikings 40-yard line for the first. Twins near side, 1 to the left-handed side. Shotgun again for Jack. Vikings brought some pressure on 3rd down. What did they do here on 4th? They'll bring some pressure again. Gilbertson steps up, able to evade the pressure. Now has to go to the near side. Needs the 30. Has the first down and some to the 20. Picks up a block past the 15 and taken out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Gabe Whipple had the chance one-on-one, but taking the crease and having the boundary there was Jack Gilbertson for a healthy run as they're in the red zone now. They'll mark him out at the 14-yard line. It's a gain of 23. Brings up a 1st down here for Wahpeton, as the Huskies will be coming out here for a 1st down. Able to bring some pressure. Stepping up through it was the sophomore and able to go one-on-one there with the safety of Whipple. High snap. Gilbertson, though, throwing to Steffens in the end zone. Incomplete. Steffens trying to make a really nice catch. Just maybe a hair underthrown there, going into the wind again for Gilbertson, but Steffens at 6'1", 175 pounds, in a locked tie with the 5'9" senior at 180. There was Sawyer Hess. Well, you might go back to that one more time if you're Wahpeton. Here with how the Vikings are defending Steffens. Kind of letting Hess just go out there and say, we trust you. Try to make your plays as best as you can. This will be a QB keeper. Doing a really good job on the outside here is Kindred. Fisher Johnson comes in open spaces and makes the tackle back to the 13-yard line. The original gain there. Gilbertson, 4 carries now for 22 yards. Midway through this first quarter, Wahpeton Huskies trying to see if they can put this one in the end zone here on this Thursday night. 3rd down and 10. A drive that started back at the positive 40-yard line here for Wahpeton. Trips on the far side, tight bunch. This will be a handoff. Trying to hurdle his way over man was Peterson almost, but just unable to do much there. Kindred flying around defensively, and that's going to be even a loss for 1. First rush of the game here for Peterson. For the Wahpeton Huskies, Peterson also is their kicker, 6 of 9 for PATs, but has yet to try a field goal attempt here and again into the wind. You really need a good leg here if you're going to try to put one through the uprights from 30 yards out. So the Huskies, 4th down and along 11. They need the 3 for the first. Wahpeton, shotgun. We'll see it here with Gilbertson. Gilbertson will roll the pocket near sideline. Gilbertson fires. Going to be complete now. It depends on the spot, as Steffens will be short at the 5-yard line. So it's a gain of 9, but it's a turnover on downs. Steffens with his second catch of the evening for 14 yards. He needed 11, got 9, and it'll be a turnover on downs here for the Huskies. Well, for the Kindred Vikings with 5:38 left to play in the opening quarter, they will handle the football at their own 5-yard line here. Second drive of the game for Kindred, where they had chunk after chunk after chunk play on that opening drive. Twins to the right, one to the near sideline as Whipple, the 6'2 senior, in the gun. Motion man is Miles Theogis. Theogis gets a lane and an alley. Theogis weaving his way to the 20, and Theogis will stretch to the 25. Nice play for 20 yards here for Theogis. First down and 10, Kindred. Theogis now 2 carries for 32 yards here in this one, and Kindred 5 plays have gone 17 for a touchdown, 12, 12, and 12, and alongside 32 gashing plays for the Vikings offensively. Vikings will finish off the regular season hosting Castleton next week against the Central Cass Squirrels on Friday, while the Huskies will tango with the Fargo South Bruins next week in Wahpeton. Rolling the pocket, Whipple goes to the boundary. Theogis with the catch, and Theogis gets upended at about the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 5. As Theogis gets his first catch of the evening, his 7th catch of the season, and we'll see a 2nd down and 5 on the way here for the Kindred Vikings. High school football tonight on yourliveevent.com. As Kindred will see a 2nd down here for the Vikings. Both teams with all 3 timeouts here in a contest that got underway at 7:07 just over 20 minutes ago. I formation is tight. Whipple hand off to the near side and trying to make his way through the pile. That's a first down for a gain of 7, as this one will go to Sawyer Hess. Sawyer, 2 carries for 24 yards, has that rushing touchdown earlier. So far on the year with 9 touchdowns on the season, just in terms of rushing and receiving here offensively for the Vikings. Taking a look at Kindred a season ago, these 2 teams met, and the Vikings able to defeat the Wahpeton Huskies in Wahpeton in that matchup last year. 50-12 back on August the 30th in Wahpeton. 1st and 10 as Whipple back under center. Huskies bringing some pressure. It's a fullback dive right where the pressure came from, and that will be a first down on the way. As the Vikings on that rush with Fisher Johnson, that's a gain of 13. So just a little bit of everything. Wahpeton brings the outside linebacker in. You go right through that hole, just the gap to the near side, and able to go right where the pressure came from. It was almost like a hot route for run, if you will. You kind of say that from a quarterback. You see where the pressure's coming from. You go either away or right towards that pressure. Brings up a first down and 10 here for Kindred. As we see Twinston near sideline, 1 to the right for the Vikings. Theogis will be the motion man again. Huskies with 3 down linemen. They will bring 4. Whipple has time, throwing down the middle of Starcevic, who's running his way to the 20, and he gets wrapped up at about the 15. A huge gashing play. First down and 10 here for Kindred. And they will make it to the 11-yard line. It's a pitch and catch of 39 yards. Starcevic with his 2nd reception of the game for 51 yards. Well, for Whipple, he's got 68 yards passing and a perfect 4 for 4 so far here on the drive. Vikings from a season ago, 12-1, made the Dakota Bowl and the State A tournament, losing to the Aggies of Velvet Drake and a Moose. This has been a team that has had October success, and they are trying to keep getting a little better every week. This one is going to be the reverse. Looking to throw his Baco into the end zone. This is going to be caught. End zone touchdown to Starcevic. Junior to junior. Baco to Starcevic. Little razzle-dazzle on a Thursday night. As Bako can show you he can throw, and Starcevic with his 4th receiving touchdown of the season. 79 yards through the air total with a touchdown here as the PAT by Graham Hess will be coming on as the Vikings have a 13-0 lead. Here's the point after attempt. Right-footed kick is up, and the right-footed kick is good. With the new score here in Kindred tonight on yourliveevent.com, it's the Kindred Vikings 14, the Wahpeton Huskies scoreless.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
End over end kick on the way. Who's going to pick it up here for Wahpeton? That's going to be Barth. And Barth makes his way to about the 25-yard line, and the Huskies will have their 3rd possession here of the game. For the Kindred Vikings, 6 plays, 95 yards in a drive that able to go about 2 minutes and carry the one about 26 seconds here. As now for the Wahpeton Huskies, a punt to turnover on downs got close to the 5-yard line to try to see if they could tie this puppy up, but the Vikings defense with the stand. Wahpeton will come out shotgun formation after a Brooks Bako to Starcevic 11-yard touchdown connection. Oh, razzle-dazzle. Go the reverse, think Bako's going to run, then you just leak out the tight end, and boom, you found him in the end zone. Gilbertson looking to throw to Steffens. This one is incomplete. A little bit more towards the Kindred sideline. Would have maybe given Steffens that opportunity, but towards more the hash that allowed so far Sawyer Hess to bat the ball win. That's been a fun matchup so far with Sawyer and Steffens. That's good on good right there. Makes it 2nd down and 10 upcoming. Again, Wahpeton, kind of almost, if you would, in a way, Steffens is someone where you want one side of the field on one-on-one. Read the defense, see if you can play a numbers game the other way, but so far they haven't been looking to rush the football too much unless it's Gilbertson rolling the pocket or coming through. Trying to run the ball this time. Here goes Gilbertson. Has a little bit of a lane, but that closes quickly. Fisher Johnson, part of the tackling party here for the Kindred Vikings to get there defensively. Also with him in on the particular play here for Kindred. Coming on in was Hudson Kozowski as well. Gain of 2 on the play for Gilbertson. 5 carries for 24 yards so far for Gilbertson. Gilbertson with 4 rushing touchdowns on the season now has over 400 yards on the ground. Also with those 500 yards through the air. As the Huskies will spread them out. Trips to left-handed side. Tight end will line up on the left. Steffens again soloed up on the near sideline. 3rd down and 8. And we'll see a flag or a timeout. Nope, we get a flag from our field judge, Dylan Dunn. Delay a game on the play. 2nd penalty for 10 yards on the way for the Wahpeton Huskies. Wahpeton 3A. A lot of folks will remember Ryan Smith. Made his way to NDSU. The CFL with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Got a couple of runs north of the border. But they were 3A from 1997, 2008. And they've pretty much been in what the 2A division is now back in 2009 to where it presently is today here in 2025. Shotgun for the Huskies yet again. Gilbertson steps up, getting pressure. Gilbertson breaks out of 1 sack, but can't break out of another. They got some pressure immediately, and Starcevic wraps him up at the 20, and that'll be a loss. But give credit to Lincoln Swenson, who got home quickly. It will only be a loss of 2 on the play. Starcevic able to come in with the sack here for the Kindred Vikings. That's his 5.5 sack of the season now. And punting into the wind will be Wahpeton. With this kind of wind, you don't want to really get it high up in the air. You need a line drive shot. Gilbertson will boom this one. Baco will make the fair catch at the 45-yard line roughly, and they'll mark it at the 44. Third possession of the game so far for the Vikings with 49.2 seconds here in this first half. They will start in positive territory for the first time tonight at the Wahpeton 44-yard line. Thanks so much for tuning in to high school football here this evening. Make sure you patronize all of our sponsors who are allowing us to bring you high school sports throughout the year. For the Vikings right now, they've done a little bit of everything. Through the air, on the ground, what will they do here on this third possession? Wahpeton trying to get a tackle for a loss or a turnover here defensively. If you're going to give up some yards, got to find a way to take the ball back. As they will play action, Whipple rolls right-hand side. Starcevic at the 40. Starcevic makes a man miss to about the 35 and keeps the pile moving. Looks to be enough for the first down. Going to be awfully close. And so far, able to see Starcevic with his 4th catch of the evening. And this will be towards the line to gain, and they will give him 10. 4 catches, 72 yards, and a touchdown. Whipple is 5 for 5 for 78 yards here through the air. And I'm not sure what you can do defensively with a 6'5", 260-pound tight end. There's just not a lot of girth in the secondary here to try to come up with that and that size and that frame. First down and 10. They will give it on the fullback dive here for Kindred to about the 25 to the 24-yard line. That's going to be Fisher Johnson on the rush. As the Vikings will see that be the last play of the quarter. So Fisher Johnson able to get his 2nd carry of the game, 2 carries for 22 yards. After 1 quarter of play here in Kindred, it's the Vikings up by 14 as we head to the second.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Catch all the action of the fall postseason for Minnesota and North Dakota high school football and volleyball on yourliveevent.com.
Going down the field, it's picked off here from Kindred. Tannen Johnson to the 30, to the 25. Johnson, could he go? Yes, sir! A 45-yard pick six for
Takes it up, played high in the air by Horkeneers. Risky left side off of a touch. Kept alive Thornton. Now played high. Angle, Severson, smash! Count, good!
Check out the postseason schedule on yourliveevent.com.
As we make our way here on yourliveevent.com, out-of-town scoreboard, the Fargo South Bruins lead Grand Forks Red River 20-14 with 2 minutes left to play in the third quarter, as the Fargo South Bruins need to win that game, and then they need to beat WAP next week, while Red River has to lose tonight and lose against Central for the Bruins to have a chance to make the playoffs, but a good one up at Cushman Field in Grand Forks. Chase Miller, Max Bernier with you here. We'll get to some other out-of-town scores once we get to our half as well. Whipple in the shotgun. Motion man going right to left is Graham Hess, as Whipple pocket collapses. Whipple rolls, steps, fires, throws. Baco at the 15, and then the turf monster gets him, as that'll be a gain of 12 yards and a first down and another chunk play for the Vikings. Baco with his 2nd catch of the night for 24 yards. And Baco on the season now 6 catches here for about 525 yards with 7 touchdowns. Tight formation. They've gone the fullback dive a couple times. This time they will pitch it to Baco. Baco looking to throw, going to the post pattern, and it's intercepted. Baco just had the touchdown moments ago, and the Huskies come away with the pick. Aiden Bonchis with the interception, his first of the season, and the Huskies defense bends but doesn't break on a trick play, and the Huskies will have the football for the 4th time tonight. So you pitch it out, give an opportunity for Baco, and Brooks had a throw into the wind, and again, the throw into the wind, if you're not slinging it towards that south end zone, you better have a little zip on the football there, as just trying to almost lob it, if you will, to Starcevic to allow the big man to run underneath it. But that'll be a stop for the Huskies. Wahpeton will hand this one off. That goes to Peterson. Peterson barreling his way, spins out of a tackle to 30, and the Huskies with their best rush here by the senior running back tonight in Peterson. They got one big rush by Gilbertson, but from the tailback position, Peterson with a chunk play of 10. And give him 11 on the play there for Peterson. So first down, Wahpeton. Kindred will get the ball to start the second half, but the Huskies come out with a nice play from Gilbertson. Oh, bunch formation, one wide receiver near sidelines is Steffens. Back in the gun goes Jack Gilbertson, the sophomore quarterback. Peterson gets it again as Wahpeton trying to see if they can bring a couple of guys across, but Vikings set the edge, and we've said this name a couple of times defensively so far tonight. Fisher Johnson, like a magnet to a football here tonight, brings up 2nd and 10. We'll talk with Coach Bergad about Fisher's progression alongside Jeremy Knight, both of what those two guys were able to do, and he mentioned that, hey, they were in the linebacking room, not sure, where they would maybe get reps or opportunities, but whether it's been for injuries or just consistently coming to practice, making plays, and then making the most out of their reps in Friday Night Lights, they've gotten more opportunities throughout the course of a season. Gilbertson will keep it, and then Gilbertson going to get stuck to about the 33-yard line. It's a gain of 2. Able to come in on part of that tackle on the way here for the Kindred Vikings is Tanner Mangy. We'll see it for about a gain of 2 on the way for Gilbertson. Wahpeton Huskies so far here tonight, a punt turnover on downs at the Kindred 5 and a punt their last time out. 4th possession of the game, first of the quarter here for Wahpeton. They need their own 41 for a first down here. Both teams with all 3 timeouts remaining. Rolling the pocket here is Gilbertson. Gilbertson steps up, and this will be incomplete. Coming across was Isaiah Brushert, the wide receiver, and that'll bring up a 4th down here for the Huskies. 4 of 11 through the air for 12 yards for Gilbertson, as Wahpeton able to force the interception, but now it will come on and look to punt. Just to note, anytime the punter is a quarterback, you might have to circle that as a potential trick or maybe a different formation. Gilbertson, clean snap. Here comes a booming with the wind right-footed kick. It's going to go over Bacco, take a Husky bounce inside the 10 to the 5, and that'll roll into the end zone. What a kick with the wind. That's a 67-yard boot here on a Thursday night, a net of 47. But, again, you get in that jet stream here. Bobby, that football was gone. Similar to the Blue Jays last night in Seattle, hitting some home runs for the ALCS, as there's a punt on the way for Wahpeton. The Vikings with their 4th possession with 9:21 left to play here in quarter number 2. As we'll see what Kindred does, as you're seeing the OC here, and Alex Starcevic kind of throwing a little bit of everything out there in terms of what they have for wrinkles and different formations so far in this first half. Huskies with 3 down linemen. Gabe Whipple, again the senior, in the shotgun formation. Whipple hands this one off. Making his way is Hess. Hess gets to 30, and he bangs his way to the 36-yard line. Sawyer Hess shot out of a cannon for a gain of 16. And Sawyer, 3 carries for 40 yards on the way, and so far between the tackles, and give credit particularly on that one, Brody Malk, Miles Stroh, and Lincoln Swenson opening up some lanes on the interior between the left and the right guard spot. And the Vikings will see it first down and 10 here for Kindred. Wide receivers split out either side. Huskies, well, they bring down that safety to get 7 in the box, 4 high across on the secondary. Quick little slant down the way to the 50 and some, as Bacco was able to make his way into Husky territory at about the 49-yard line for a gain of 15. Over 100 yards passing now is Whipple on the night. 3 catches for 39 yards for Bacco, and if you're going to play 7-10 yards off the field, those little quick slants, those little curls will be there throughout the course of a game. And as we were saying with Steffens in the first quarter about Wahpeton taking some shots, you don't want Baco to go down the field with his 6'5" frame and play 500 with the football. Also throwing into the wind, nice little zip there by Whipple. In Husky territory now at the 49-yard line, shotgun formation, little speed option, but then they will pitch it, and coming here is Starcevic, and Starcevic makes his way for a 12-yard completion. So you fake the option one way, you come underneath, and here comes the tight end, able to flip it for a gain of 12. 5 catches as Starcevic is trying to get to the century mark here in this first half. He's got 84 yards receiving. Now 400 and alongside 30 yards here this season through the air for Luke Starcevic. Trips in near side, twins to left. Huskies, they show 3. We'll see if they bring 4. They do. They bring some pressure here. Whipple rolling near side, throwing. Starcevic with another catch. Starcevic gets to the 25, and if you had Starcevic in your high school fantasy football team, you're feeling pretty good tonight. It's a gain of 13. 6 receptions for 97 yards. Gabe Whipple 9 for 9 through the air for a $131. First down and 10 Wahpeton as Starcevic will check out coming in here on this one for the Vikings. Again, will be Fisher Johnson. As we said, 6'5" Baco and 6'5" Starcevic. I'm just not sure what you do to try to stop those two in the secondary, because even if you bracket one, you're going to leave the other at least one-on-one, and then that's before you talk about Graham Hess and Sawyer Hess and everything else they have. 1st and 10. Handoff bouncing near sideline. The Vikings with a little crease. There goes Hess. Hess to the 5, and he gets taken down about the 20. Make that the 4-yard line for a gain of 21. Sawyer Hess, the 5'9" senior, rumbling his way inside the 5. 4 carries for 61 yards. As we see it here, 6:30 left to play in this first half. As Kindred knocking on the door, trying to get up 21 love here in half number 1. One wide receiver goes to Baco. Steffens on the guard of him. One wide receiver to the near sideline here for Kindred is Graham Hess. Check that's Sawyer. As this will see this. Into the end zone. Baco leaps, catches, yes! Touchdown, Vikings! I'll throw it up in the air, good on good. Baco with Steffens on the play and able to see that for a touchdown of 4 yards. And Baco with his 8th receiving touchdown of the season. Tag team is indeed back again as we see the PAT on the way here for the Kindred Vikings. Graham Hess trying to make it a 21-0 game. Anytime you put Baco on the outside, you just got to think that fade route's coming. Exactly able to do so with the 6'5" frame against 6'1" Steffens. Steffens played it really good. Speaking of really good, this is going to be blocked by the aforementioned Steffens. They got the ball down by Miles Theelgis, but Steffens was there, put his hands out, and blocked the PAT. 6:08 left to play here in the opening half. Vikings convert on a 4-yard score to Baco. It's 20 love in favor of Kindred.
Make your stop before or after the game at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. Stop out throughout the week for mouth-watering lunch specials weekdays and mark Friday nights down on the calendar for prime rib, ribeye steak, or some walleye at the Knickerbocker. For more information or to find out about daily specials, give the Knickerbocker a like on Facebook by searching the Knickerbocker. Great food and good people. You can find it all at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota.
In a football drive that went 2 minutes and alongside 47 seconds here, 80 yards down the field, it ends up in a touchdown. It is a new score, 20-0 here for the Kindred Vikings over the Wahpeton Huskies. For the Wahpeton Huskies, just looking back in recent years here and kind of who they lost from last season. Last year they made it to the state semifinals, 6 wins, 5 losses. Defeated Valley City in the quarters, lost to Red River in the semis. They lost to a really good senior crew of Trenton Malk, Bjorn Kubala, Jackson DeVries. So here's an end-over-end kick to Steffens, and Steffens makes one man miss but can't make two, and that's where Wahpeton will handle the football at the 35-yard line with 6:03 left to play here in the half. Last year, again, 6 wins, 5 losses, a lot of seniors that left. back in 1998, made the Fargo Dome, made it to the 3A championship, losing to Jay Gibson's West Fargo Packers and a Schlabber knocker 12-7 for the Huskies back in 3A. The last 4 years they've made the playoffs, so this has been a team that proud Husky tradition here for Wahpeton through their tenure. Twins right, one near sideline with Jack Gilbertson here in the gun. Gilbertson will throw. This will be incomplete, looking for Caden Barth. Just on a quick little outplay, and that will stop the clock here right on the screws of the 6-minute mark. Going back through, played in championships in the 2013, losing to St. Mary's in the 2A title game, 24-22. In 42, they tied with Mandan in 1942 in the state championship, 6-6, and then in 48, losing to Mandan 7-6. For a little Wahpeton Husky history here on this fifth drive for Wahpeton. Kindred showing some pressure on the near side. Gilbertson just going to keep it, and coming nowhere as that's going to be a tackle for a loss. Coming down was Fisher Johnson. Almost worked out as an outside linebacker into defensive end, and no one blocked him. Gilbertson saw it, tried to tuck and run, but he went nowhere. It's going to be a loss of 1. One thing with Kindred that you hear from opposing coaches when talking with different folks throughout the week is, sound discipline. They don't make mistakes. They're well coached. They're well schooled. They know where to fit an alley. They know where to fit a gap defensively. And they're doing that here against Wahpeton in this first half. 3rd down and 11. Gilbertson, Huskies trying to step up. Gilbertson trying to evade a sack, takes a hit. They throw it to the outside, and that'll go to Peterson. Peterson with a head of steam to the 40, and a really good job by Jack Gilbertson climbing through the pocket, taking a stick, throwing the nice completion to the outside, able to flip the field here for Wahpeton as they get to the Kindred Vikings 37-yard line. A 30-yard pitch and catch here to Peterson. Now 42 yards passing there for Gilbertson, and he took a shot as well coming through. But so far the best plays for the Wahpeton Huskies have kind of been the old backyard football variety here for Jack. Let him scramble. Kind of Russell Wilson-esque of the Seattle Seahawks. Just let the man scramble and try to go make a play, and that's where we're seeing for Gilbertson so far. 1st and 10 at the 37. Gilbertson rolling, near side, Starcevic coming. There's a big deep ball for Steffens. They took a shot, incomplete. Second time, though, we've seen Steffens come up the seam, trying to see if he can get a step, and that'll make it 2nd and 10. And again, throwing with the wind now here for Wahpeton compared to that first quarter. Coming up here at the half, we'll take a look at your first half numbers, out-of-town scoreboard, keep you apprised of what's going on at Cushman Field here tonight, as Fargo South and Grand Forks River playing in a barn burner for the last we saw. And Fargo South still with the lead at 20-14 in the fourth quarter for the Bruins. So that would shake things up a little bit here in 2A football on this Thursday night. 2nd down and 10 with Gilbertson. Motion man coming in the backfield is Kuhlmo. They will pitch it to Peterson. Peterson trying to get in front there of the lead block of Kuhlmo. It'll be about a gain of 1, maybe 2 on the play. Well, this is 4-down territory here for the Huskies. You got the wind at your back. Kindred gets the ball to start the second half. Need to find a way to punch this one into the end zone. 3 timeouts remaining for both Wahpeton and Kindred here in this opening half. As they will come trips, the near sideline, Kuhlmo will be in the slot. Peterson to the right of Jack Gilbertson here in the shotgun formation, with Steffens by himself on the right. They're throwing that right to the Steffens. Back shoulder, really nice play. Couldn't have thrown it any better if you're Gilbertson to Steffens. Back shoulder, tough one there for Hess to try to defend, but Sawyer did a nice job, but just a better throw on the pitch and catch. 19 yards, it's a 1st down here for Wahpeton. Steffens, I'm just going to say it this way when it comes to basketball, that guy is a stud here for the Wahpeton Huskies. For head coach Jeff Rolfe and Wahpeton, a team that made the state tournament last season when it came to boys basketball. Just a gritty, gutty team here for the Huskies, as they gave Kindred a couple of fairly good basketball games last winter as well. Play action. Gilbertson throws, completes, coming across in that crossing pattern to about the 8-yard line, as that'll be Steffens yet again. Is a Steffens a poor man's Cooper Cup with the Rams, or Puka a little bit in terms of his size and his ability, maybe from a high school with his size and frame, with what he's able to do, 4 catches for 41 yards. For some Wahpeton fans, he's bigger than what, Ryan Smith was. Smith gave him 5'10". That was a good thing, I mean, that guy was about 5'7", 5'8", but he could turn and burn, make guys miss, similar to what Steffens is able to do here for the Huskies. Second down for Wahpeton. They will go to the far side, look for a potential new play. 2 seconds, 1 second, they got to call a timeout. Play clock was rolling, and the Huskies burned their first time out of the game. Timeout brought to you in part by Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency. Huskies on a drive here. Almost 4 minutes off the clock on yourlivevent.com.
Buying a new home, but worried about the interest rate and terms from your bank? At First Class Mortgage, we'll find a mortgage that fits your needs. Shopping national banks and other lenders for the lowest rate and most affordable terms. Saving you time and money. So all you need to worry about is enjoying your new home. First Class Mortgage. Our expertise, your peace of mind. Put an expert to work for you. Call today.
Timeout brought to you in part by Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency. From banking to insurance, get in touch with the crew at Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency to handle all your requests. For more info, go online to kindredstatebank.com. A nice drive here for Wahpeton, able to move this football down the field in a drive that started at 6:03 at their own 35-yard line. They'll burn their first time out here in the opening half of play. Still to come on our halftime show, brought to you in part by First Class Mortgage. Take a look at the first half numbers here in this one. And Huskies, speaking of numbers, they want to get 6, 7, or 8 here in this one with 2:25 left in the first half. Kindred bringing some pressure. They flip it to Steffens. Steffens incomplete over the outstretched hands. And now it's going to be third down. Pretty much not a jailhouse blitz, but they brought a ton of pressure there for Kindred, trying to get the ball out of Jack Gilbertson's hands quickly. Gilbertson looking for his 6th passing touchdown of the season. We've also seen Trayton King play here quarterback this year for the Huskies. 380 yards through the air, 4 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Trips to the right, 1 to the near sideline here for Wahpeton. As you'll see, Peterson to left of Gilbertson in the gun. Vikings, they will bring 4. They will throw it to the near side. That will be incomplete, looking for Caden Barth. A couple of plays into the end zone have gone awry, and all of a sudden now it's 4th down here for Wahpeton. 18th pass attempt in the first half for the Huskies. Won't be too far now before we start talking wrestling, basketball, prep hockey here in the state of North Dakota. Get to November 10th week. That's a lot of volleyball. Also, Dakota Bowl is that week on the 14th. Region volleyball on the 10th across the state, whether it's A or B. 3 divisions in volleyball this season as well. Huskies need 2 for a first. They will hand this one off to Peterson, who gets stuck in the gap. Coming in is Starcevic and says, sit down. That's a turnover on downs. Starcevic able to get right to the line, and that'll be a loss of 1. Trying to see if he can sneak that one between the guards, and Luke was able to beat his man off the line and just nowhere to go for the 5'9 senior against the 6'5 junior. As it'll be a turnover on downs here. Huskies take nearly 4 minutes off the clock. Now for the Vikings, they will try to double up here as they get the ball to start the second half of play. 2:12 with all 3 timeouts here for the Vikings. Whipple, as he will hand this one off. That'll go to left-handed side, and this will make its way to about the 15-yard line, as that will be a run there by Sawyer Hess. Sawyer gets the 15. It's a gain of 6. 67 yards now on the ground here for Hess. Vikings quickly, a little sugar no huddle, trying to preserve as much time here in half number 1. As Whipple sees the Moser man, and Theogis will hand this one off to Miles. Miles looking to throw. This is going to be caught by Starcevic. A one-handed catch, and look at the man rumbling, bumbling, and stumbling his way to the 39-yard line. Clock will stop. It's a gain of 24 yards. there's your positive century mark. Able to have 121 yards receiving, and now 3 different players for the Vikings have had a throw of Gabe Whipple, a Brooks Bacco, and now a Theologist here tonight. And mind you, they all have at least 1 completion. So first down and 10. Going to the bag of tricks. Halloween came early here in Kindred this week. As Whipple looking down the field. Whipple getting pressured. Huskies looking for their first sack of the night. Whipple, though, fires, throws, finds Bacco. Bacco able to go down the field, see his quarterback roll out of the pocket, comes back towards Whipple, puts up his 6'5" frame, and that's a gain of 16 yards. 147 yards here for Whipple. Bacco with his 5th catch of the evening. He's got 58 yards, a passing and throwing touchdown as well. First down and 10 for the Vikings. Also, you get out of bounds. You stop the clock here. Still got 3 timeouts. Again, this drive started back at their own 9 at the 2:12 mark. And boom, they're in Husky territory here at the 46. Shotgun formation. This one will go to Whipple, rolling near side. Fires, finds a man at the 40 as the Vikings get to about the 34-yard line. That's Graham Hess. They'll mark Graham Hess down at the 33. It's a gain of 13. First catch of the evening there for Graham Hess. 11 of 11 so far for Whipple for 160 yards. Alongside with that receiving touchdown as well. This will be caught by Bacco. Bacco able to break a tackle. Look at the Jets by Bacco. And Bacco gets pushed out of bounds by Steffens inside the 10. They'll mark him at the 7-yard line. Able to see that for a gain of 26. As Bacco, 84 yards so far here this evening. Receiving 190 yards now for Whipple. Playbook is open here for the Kindred Vikings. Over 100 yards rushing, over 200 yards passing here in this first half. 1:02 left to play in quarter number 2. As Gabe Whipple hands this one off. Hess will make his way into the end zone for a 7-yard rushing touchdown. Sawyer Hess hits pay dirt for his 2nd score of the night. And the Vikings back in business. They lead it 26-0. $74 yards rushing for Sawyer Hess. He's got 2 touchdowns. The point after attempt upcoming here for the Kindred Vikings. As Kindred, their last point after attempt was blocked on the way by Steffens. As they will come out here with Graham Hess for the PAT. Right-footed kick will be upcoming. Clean snap, clean hold. The right-footed kick might have missed it, and he did. Just couldn't put it inside the left upright. But a new score with 57.7 left to play in the opening half. Kindred leads by 26.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial sales and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
Kindred with their second 90-plus yard drive that ends up in a touchdown. This one goes 91 yards, takes 1 minute and 15 seconds off the clock, capped off by a Sawyer Hess rushing touchdown from 7 yards out. For the Wahpeton Huskies, they will have 3, make that 2 timeouts remaining here as they make their way. Well, for the Kindred Vikings, trying to see if they can pitch the shutout here in this first half. End over end kick that'll go to the 25-yard line. Barth with it on the return. Barth trying to get to the edge. Barth to the 35, cuts back into the 45. Nice return there for Barth of 20 yards with 51.4 seconds left to play in the opening half. Also be at the about 46-yard line. They will mark it here officially. Coming up, we'll get to our First Class Mortgage halftime show. Get you ready for what's coming up tomorrow night on yourliveevent.com. Then we get to postseason play next week in Minnesota. Section volleyball on Monday, a little section football on Tuesday. Huskies, shotgun formation here for Jack Gilbertson. Kindred, 4 men at the line. Handoff goes to Peterson, and Peterson's going to get met at the line. That's going to be a tackle for a loss. Coming in right off the bat here, number 71 in Erdman, the junior, able to get there, as Teague was able to get there and eventually make it a tackle for a loss. So a loss of 1 on the play in Wahpeton. Well, sugar no huddle here. Looking back at the line, as right now they're bracketing Steffens here for Kindred, trying to say, I'm going to give you that chance to get one quickly through the air. Let's force someone else to go down the field and beat them. Handoff again. They got a little bit of a room here. This goes Peterson to the 50, and then he's tackled. That could have been a lot more space than what eventually happened. Fisher Johnson in on the tackle, also with him and Tanner Mangy here. I'll go to the 50-yard line. It's about a gain of 6 on the play. That looks to be the final play of the half. We'll break with them. Coming up, we'll get to our First Class Mortgage halftime report at the half here on yourliveevent.com. Kindred leads by 26.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered, servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Homegrown Local Radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
The Kindred Public School District looks to collaboratively cultivate an environment that challenges learners to reach their full potential in a student-centered, community-supported environment while building authentic relationships that promotes active engagement in learning, literacy, and life. Kindred Public Schools' mission is to educate, prepare, and maximize student potential. Kindred Public School District, student-centered, community-supported. For more info about upcoming school events and news, go online to kindred.k12.us.
Buying and selling heavy equipment at purplewave.com saves time and money. We handle all of the details, including pictures, videos, marketing, titles, and payments.
It was almost immediately over the top with the customer service. I've just never ever experienced that before with any other auction service. They're constantly working for me as the seller, and I really like that.
Purple Wave Auction is straight, simple, sold.
As we get to our halftime show here on yourliveevent.com, brought to you in part by First Class Mortgage, I'm Chase Miller alongside Max Bernier. Thank you so much for tuning into high school football here tonight on yourliveevent.com. Here's a score for you in Grand Forks, Fargo South with a 20-14 lead with under 2 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. Bruins 20, Riders 14 with 1:28 left to play in the fourth quarter. That's a large one. If Red River loses, they're 2-2 on the season, and Fargo South then would have a chance to still make the playoffs. If South loses that game, it'll be Kindred, Red River, Central Cass, and Grand Forks Central in the playoffs, just a matter of what seed line here in that contest. That, again, going on at Cushman Field right now. Also, your out-of-town scoreboard here from some other games this evening in 2A football. A final Bismarck St. Mary's 35 points, able to pick up the win here tonight over Watford City, 35-12. So St. Mary's now 2-2 on the season. Watford City also 2-2 out west. Minot Northall over Jamestown, 42-0 at the half as well. So those are some of your other scores here in North Dakota. In 11A football, a final Carrington over Thompson, 26-0. Lisbon gets by Sargent County, 6-love for the Lisbon Broncos. In 11A in Langdon area, Edmore Munich all over Grafton, 20-0 at the half as well. Park River area over Harvey Wells County, 16-0. But if the Langdon area Edmore Munich score holds, Cardinals would be the one in Region 2. In 11A, the 2 Park River area, the 3 would be Thompson, and the 4 would be Grafton. This is our First Class Mortgage halftime show. Taking a look at this first half. Luke Starcevic with 7 receptions for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brooks Baca with a passing and a rushing touchdown. Gabe Whipple is 13 for 13 for 190 yards and 1 score. And Sawyer Hess has 2 rushing scores for the Kindred Vikings as well. We'll take a look at the first half numbers when we return here on your liveevent.com.
The Ring Neck is the perfect stop for lunch or dinner in Leonard, North Dakota. They have a wide variety menu from burgers, wraps, steak, chicken, and seafood. For that small-town family-owned dining experience, check out the Ring Neck today. To place an order ahead of time for takeout, call 701-645-2461. That's 701-645-2461. For more information and daily food specials, search the Ring Neck on Facebook. That's the Ring Neck in Leonard. Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the 3-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
Fall is here, and that means harvest will ramp up quickly. How did your planter do this spring? Did you have the correct down pressure? Was your singulation spot on? Did you need row cleaners or a better closing system? This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Have a safe and profitable harvest.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
As we come back at the half, brought to you in part by First Class Mortgage. First Class Mortgage, locally owned and operated. First Class Mortgage, more than their company name, it's the way they do business. Whether you're talking with Mr. Dan, Mr. Greg and company there, looking to buy a new home or refinancing your existing mortgage, get in touch with the crew at First Class Mortgage on 13th Avenue, 25th Street in Fargo, or go to firstclasscorp.com. First half numbers, the Vikings with 353 yards of total offense. 108 yards for the Wahpeton Huskies. Kindred has 128 yards rushing, 225 yards passing, 10 carries for 128 yards. While for the Red River, they have 39 yards rushing on 15 attempts and 69 yards through the air at 108. Also a final tonight at Cushman Field. The Bruins knock off Red River 20-14. So Red River now drops to 2-2 in the East. Fargo South improves to 1-3 after Fargo South with the win here tonight on the road here at Red River 20-14. So what that means now is Red River has to win upcoming next week in the Cushman Classic, or their season could be coming to an end. Also, Central Cass and Grand Forks Central play tomorrow night, which could have some implications on who the two-loss team from that would be as well. But all of a sudden, Red River, they're back to the wall. Fargo South, they have hope. They have hope now for the Bruins. If they can beat Wahpeton, Red River loses. That's the easiest way to say that the Bruins are in the playoffs. So that's your 2A East update score on that one. As we continue here, Luke Starcevic has been part of the story. 7 receptions for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. Whipple is perfect, 13 of 13 through the air for 190 yards and a score. The Vikings as a team between Theoljus Bacco and Whipple have thrown 15 of 16 tonight for 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. And the 1 pick was on a trick play as well going into the win from Bacco to Starcevic. Hess has 6 carries for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's for Sawyer, the senior. Theo just 2 carries for 32 yards, and Johnson 2 carries for 22 yards. Bacco receiving 84 yards with a touchdown. You have Graham Hess 1 reception for 13 yards, and Miles Theo just 1 for 5. Bacco 1 of 2 through the air for a touchdown and a pick. Theo just 1 of 1 through the air for 24 yards. 1 penalty for 15 yards and 1 turnover here for the Kindred Vikings. While for the Wahpeton Huskies, Gilbertson 24 yards on the ground. He's 7 of 18 through the air for 69 yards here for Wahpeton. Steffens 4 catches for 41 yards. Peterson has 2 for 29, and then from there, here for the Huskies, Bonchis 1 catch for -2 yards. The Huskies 2 penalties for 10 yards. They have 0 turnovers here for Wahpeton. At the half again, it's the Kindred Vikings 26, the Wahpeton Huskies scoreless. We're back with the second half coming up around the corner. That is next.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Catch all the action of the fall postseason for Minnesota and North Dakota high school football and volleyball on yourliveevent.com.
Going down the field, it's picked off here from Kindred. Tanning Johnson to the 30, to the 25. Johnson, could he go? Yes, sir! A 45-yard pick six for
Takes it up, played high in the air by Horkeneers. Risky left side off of a touch. Kept alive Thornton. Now played high. Angle, Saverson, smash! Count, good!
Check out the postseason schedule on yourliveevent.com.
Make your stop before or after the game at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. Stop out throughout the week for mouth-watering lunch specials weekdays and mark Friday nights down on the calendar for prime rib, ribeye steak, or some walleye at the Knickerbocker. For more information or to find out about daily specials, give the Knickerbocker a like on Facebook by searching the Knickerbocker. Great food and good people. You can find it all at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota.
That does it for our halftime show here today in Kindred, brought to you in part by First Class Mortgage. The Vikings with 14 points in the first quarter of play, and then they were able to add to that there with another 12 points here. Wahpeton scoreless. Kindred first touchdown with a Sawyer Hess 17-yard rushing score. Bacco on an end around, then threw it to Starcevic for an 11-yard touchdown. Baco then had a 4-yard pitch and catch on the way from Whipple in the second quarter, and the Vikings scored again. Sawyer Hess for a 7-yard rushing touchdown. That does it again for our First Class Mortgage halftime show. To understand your financial situation, go to First Class Mortgage. They provide first-class service, first-class knowledge, and a first-class experience at the lowest interest rates. For more, go to firstclasscorp.com. Back with second half action next between the Huskies and the Vikings here on your liveevent.com.
Of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered, servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
And that does it for our First Class Mortgage halftime show. The Kindred Vikings will get the ball to start the second half of play here against the Wahpeton Huskies. As we get you ready for this second half, Chase Miller alongside Max Bernier. With a win for Kindred, they would improve to 4-0 in the East. And after Red River losing here tonight against South, would have a nice little stranglehold, if you will, on the East. And then all of a sudden, depending on what happens tomorrow night with Central Cass and Grand Forks Central, the Vikings could be the 1 seed regardless of what the outcome is between Central Cass and Kindred upcoming next week. But that, again, still got to get through these 24 minutes of football. Huskies will put this ball on the tee, and they will come out. As they will have Michael Peterson, their kicker, again at the 40, going from the south to the north, the right to the left as we see it here at Jarlow Field at Sanford Health Sports Complex. Track looks in pristine condition after the work here this summer. End over end kick that'll make its way towards the 5. Gonna roll to the 2. That's where the Vikings will pick it up there. Here goes Althoff. Althoff has a little bit of a crease to the 20-yard line to the 25. Althoff is at the 40 to the 50 to the 40, and Althoff able to barrel his way to the 27-yard line. It got over the returner. Althoff picked it up and took it 70 yards on the return, as Althoff will be taken down at the 26-yard line. That's how you start a second half here if you're Kindred. Vikings, if they put up a touchdown here, they would get the lead, and then it would be mercy rule here up by 30 or more points. That's what the Vikings are looking for. The Huskies, can you get a defensive stand, defensive stop, a turnover on downs? Can you get a pick? Something positive here from the Wahpeton point of view. Whipple hands this one off. Well, they almost had the fumble. Trying to go in the breadbasket there was Miles Steelgis. He's able to bounce on it. Trenton King was there defensively. If you saw Steelgis unable to wrap that one, that'll be a loss on the play, a loss of 2. I haven't really said that from a Kindred perspective here tonight, a loss on an offensive play. But that'll make it second down and 12 with the 11:20 left here in quarter number 3. As Gabe Whipple, 13 passing touchdowns on the season, will come out under center I formation. Sawyer Hess dots the I. He will get the football here. Hess gets a lane, gets to the 20-yard line, makes a cutback at the 15, and he rolls his way inside the 10. As King will come up with the tackle, and they will mark him down at the 9-yard line. It's a gain of 20. 7 carries for 94 yards here for Mr. Hess. Just a really good job, though, on the way by the fullback on that particular one by Fisher Johnson. They went behind Tannen and Johnson and Miles Stroh on the left-handed side to open up a little bit of real estate here for the Vikings. As Sawyer Hess will make his way for the first down. First and goal at the 9 for Kindred. Twins to the near sideline with Graham Hess in the slot. Whipple, shotgun formation, going to hand this one off. Bouncing his way to the near side as Hess into the end zone. It's a hat trick for number 3. Sawyer Hess with his third rushing touchdown of the night, as this one able to put him over the century mark now in the evening with 103 yards. Kindred 32, Wahpeton Huskies scoreless, and we do indeed have mercy time here in quarter number 3. The Vikings have been able to set the edge more times than not here this evening, and Sawyer Hess has been the beneficiary, as now Graham will come on for the point after attempt. One's been blocked, one has been missed, and he's made the other 2. 2 of 4 here tonight, trying to make it 3 of 5, and this one is good. 9:35 left to play here in the third quarter. New score, it's the Kindred Vikings 33, the Huskies scoreless.
The Kindred Public School District looks to collaboratively cultivate an environment that challenges learners to reach their full potential in a student-centered, community-supported environment while building authentic relationships that promotes active engagement in learning, literacy, and life. Kindred Public Schools' mission is to educate, prepare, and maximize student potential. Kindred Public School District, student-centered, community-supported. For more info about upcoming school events and news, go online to kindred.k12.us.
Come back here on YourLiveEvent.com. Barth fumbled the football, and this one was going to be picked off on the return here from the Kindred Vikings, and Kindred comes up with it. That'll be in Mr. Johnson. Javin Johnson comes up with it, and it's the first turnover of the night here for the Huskies. So a fumble for Wahpeton, and the Vikings quickly get back on the ball with 9:29 left to play here in the third quarter, and they will handle it at the 38-yard line here in Wahpeton territory. Third time for Kindred that they will start in positive territory here with 9:29 left to play. A hand got on it as Barth was cutting up towards the hash. Ball came loose on the turf, and picking it up on the way there is Kindred for the first turnover here for Wahpeton. As Whipple will come out here, hands this one off, as there's going to be a little bit of real estate for Miles Theogis on a one play, and Theogis is gone! Touchdown, 38 yards. Miles Theogis with the rushing touchdown, his 7th of the season. And the Vikings keep pouring it on here in quarter number 3. 4 carries, 68 yards, and a touchdown for Miles Theogis. One play after the turnover, they were able to answer for the rushing touchdown. As Theogis gets the rushing score, as they will come on for the PAT for the Vikings. Quickly, Graham Hess will see the right-footed kick is up, and it is good. 8:36 left to play here in quarter number 3. New score, the Kindred Vikings up 40-0 here over the Wahpeton Huskies.
Buying and selling heavy equipment at purplewave.com saves time and money. We handle all of the details, including pictures, videos, marketing, titles, and payments.
It was almost immediately over the top with the customer service. I've just never ever experienced that before with any other auction service. They're constantly working for me as the seller, and I really like that.
Purple Wave Auction is straight, simple, sold.
One play after the fumble, the Vikings put the ball in from 38 yards out here for Theogis. Here's Kindred's drive chart. Touchdown, touchdown, pick. Touchdown, 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 touchdown here tonight for the Kindred Vikings. As Kindred on the season averaging 37.5 points per game, Most points they've scored, 49 against the Jamestown Blue Jays in a game that they beat Jamestown 49-6 at West Fargo Horace here earlier this season. Mangy will put this one on the tee. This will take a bounce to the Husky 27. Steffens makes a man miss, gets the 40. Ooh, you heard a couple oohs up here with Steffens. A little shake and bake move there for Steffens. A return for Braden. Wahpeton will handle the football as they will see it at their own 41-yard line. As for the Huskies, one final game, and they will go up against the Fargo South Bruins at home next week. Here for Wahpeton. Well, for the Fargo South Bruins, coming off a nice win here tonight on the road. And well, Kindred will have a rivalry Friday night with Central Cass here on your liveevent.com. Shotgun for Gilbertson. Twins to near sideline, one to the right. Gilbertson going to keep it as he tucks and runs. Gilbertson gets the 44-yard line, gain of a couple on the play. Nicely done on the outside by Miles Theolgis. And will just kind of hang there. If he's not there, you might get Gilbertson for a first down of a run, but instead, because Theolgis just stayed home, made sure, reading the play, it's a gain of 3. 9 carries for 27 yards here for Gilbertson. And it's a 2nd down and 7 for the Wahpeton Huskies. Wahpeton defensively giving up 39 points per game. Offensively coming in averaging 15 points per game. As Gilbertson, the sophomore, going to have a bright spot moving forward. No question here for the Huskies. Able to pitch and catch to Steffens and playing a little off. Steffens will take it to the 49-yard line. A gain of 10 and a first down. Steffens, 5 catches on the evening for 51 yards. As Gilbertson through the air now is 8 of 19 for 79 yards. That'll bring up a 3rd down on the play to the 49-yard line. So, it's a pitch and catch of 8 yards, So 77 yards through the air now here for Gilbertson. So 3rd down and 2. Wahpeton needs the Kindred 49 for the first down. Vikings show some pressure on the outside. Gilbertson's going to roll the pocket, trying to get home. One miss. Gilbertson gets close to that 49. They brought Fisher Johnson with some pressure. Gilbertson able to hot step his way, and they will mark him out at the 48-yard line. That'll be a gain of 3. Pocket collapsed immediately, and Gilbertson able to get off the stretch play there by the 5'11 junior Johnson, and he will get into Kindred territory here at the 48-yard line. High school football here tonight on yourliveevent.com. Coming up once we get to our post-game show for the conclusion of this game. Stay tuned for interviews, out-of-town scoreboard, final stats in this one, that and more. Still ways to go, though, midway through quarter number 3. They will pitch this one out. That'll go to Peterson. Peterson with an alley to the 40, and Peterson bulldozing his way as he will get to about the 38-yard line. Gain of 10. Nice little pitch play. Better job on the outside by Robertson and Flack to set a little bit of the edge for the Huskies here on the offensive line spot. As Peterson now 7 carries for 27 yards. Shotgun formation for Jack Gilbertson. Trips to near sideline for Wahpeton. Vikings, they will bring 4. Gilbertson steps up, fires, throws, looking for Steffens in the middle. This will be caught for the end zone. They've taken a couple of shots there for the Huskies, and Steffens with his 8th receiving touchdown of the season as this goes 38 yards. Steffens, 87 yards now receiving on the evening with 6 catches and a score. And the Huskies have taken a couple of chances there down the field, and this one pays off. 115 yards for Jack Gilbertson. Point after attempt upcoming for Michael Peterson. He's 6 of 9 on the PAT. This one is up, and it is good. A new score of 5:05 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. It's the Kindred Vikings 40 and the Wahpeton Huskies 7 here on yourliveevent.com.
The Ringneck is the perfect stop for lunch or dinner in Leonard, North Dakota. They have a wide variety menu from burgers, wraps, steak, chicken, and seafood. For that small-town family-owned dining experience, check out the Ringneck today. To place an order ahead of time for takeout, call 701-645-2461. That's 701-645-2461. For more information and daily food specials, search the Ringneck on Facebook. That's the Ringneck in Leonard.
For the Wahpeton Huskies, able to get 5 plays down the field. They put it in the end zone for the touchdown here. That started back at their own 41-yard line, a 59-yard drive here for Wahpeton, and they're on the board, trying it now by 33. But for Brandon Steffens, again, able to get up the seam as he's nearing 600 yards receiving on the season on 30 catches, and he also has 8 receiving touchdowns. So for this one now for the Huskies, they'll put it on the tee. This will be a line drive, kick that bounces. Althoff will see it go behind him back to the 5 one more time. Althoff gets the 10 to the 15 and bounces off a Husky to the 16-yard line with 4:58 left to play here in the third quarter. And for Kindred, it's been just steady Eddie here for the Vikings, and also the opportunity to show a couple of different things here for future games. The Vikings know they're in the playoffs. It's just a matter of what seed they will be moving forward here for Kindred. As what do you want to put on tape? What do you want future opponents like Central Cass and whoever else you have in the quarterfinals that has to game prep for Kindred? As they will go one wide receiver left, one in the near sideline. Wahpeton, 3 down linemen, trying to bring some pressure. They will bring 5. Handoff going right up the middle and a shoestring tackle at that. With the head of steam coming his way was Sawyer Hess. He will get to about the 21 for a gain of 5, but there looked to be some more real estate than that in front of him. 9 carries now for 108 yards, and Sawyer Hess with 3 rushing touchdowns here tonight for the 5'9" senior. As we'll see it here for the Vikings. One wide receiver split on either side. Single high free safety for most of the evening for the Huskies has been Braden Steffens. They've had anywhere from 7 to 8 in the box here for Wahpeton. As Huskies showing some pressure. Whipple on a quick slant. This will go to Baco. Baco with the catch right at the sticks and some as he carries a couple of Huskies with him to the 29. It's a gain of 8. Baco 7 receptions on the evening now for 91 yards and a receiving touchdown. For Whipple now a perfect 14 of 14 for 198 yards through the air. For the Vikings, they will come out of that play clock here with under 20 seconds left in the play clock with Baku on the far side. Aiden Bonchis. And then they roll over the safety a little bit there with Steffens. I formation. Whipple with a hard count. Fullback dive as this one going right up Main Street and making his way to the outside to the 20-yard line. Here is the Vikings. Fisher Johnson able to get to the outside to the 50, and it's a gain of 21. 3 carries for 43 yards on the way for Johnson. And we'll see it here, first down and 10 for the Kindred Vikings. For Kindred right now, awfully nice when you can run a fullback dive and get, more than the 2-3 yards. If you get 5 to 10 yards, all of a sudden right up the gut. As the Vikings will come out again in that I formation with Whipple. Whipple hands this one off. This will go to Hess. Look at Hess break free to the 40. Bulldoze in his way. Takes a shot from Steffens. And that's going to be close to a 20-yard gain. They'll make it 19. Tell you what, Sawyer Hess, if you put blocks in front of him for 100 meters, he would be off and running on 1, 2, and boom, getting into fourth gear awfully quickly. 10 carries now on the evening for 127 yards here for Sawyer. I like that average. 12.5 yards per pop, not too shabby here for the Vikings. First down and 10, and give credit to the guys up front of Tannen Johnson, Miles Stroh, Brody Malk, Lincoln Swenson, and Hudson Kozowski. They've been able to do some damage here as Fisher Johnson able to make his way past the 25 to about the 23-yard line. It's a gain of about 8. When different times throughout the course of the game, if you're not getting hit to the second or the third level, it's the guys up front, whether it's pulling, whether it's double teams where they're opening up some alleys and some room here for Kindred. Kindred looking as advertised here as a second-ranked team in AA football. That's 7-0 with wins over Devils Lake, West Fargo, Horace, who, mind you, in AAA has a large game tomorrow night against Davies, with wins over St. Mary's and Jamestown as well in the non-conference. Here for Kindred, second down and short for the Vikings. 90 seconds left to play here in the third quarter, looking for a double move to Bacco down the field. Bacco in the end zone, yes sir! How do you do, Brooks Bacco? A 23-yard touchdown reception. 114 yards, 8 receptions, and 2 touchdowns here for Bacco. And oh, by the way, he's got an 11-yard throwing touchdown as well for the cherry on top. 46-7 Whipple, now 15 of 15 through the air, and he has been in fuego here tonight for 212 yards passing and make that another passing touchdown here on the way for Whipple. As this one is up, and it is good on the point after attempt here by Graham Hess. New score, Vikings lead by 40.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
Fall is here, and that means harvest will ramp up quickly. How did your planter do this spring? Did you have the correct down pressure? Was your singulation spot on? Did you need row cleaners or a better closing system? This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Have a safe and profitable harvest.
47-7 with 36.9 seconds left to play here in the third quarter as Bacco gets his second receiving touchdown of the game here. As so far for Gabe Whipple, a 4-yard receiving touchdown, a 14-yard receiving touchdown as well here for Bacco and what he's been able to do tonight. As for the Wahpeton Huskies, they'll make their way to about the 29-yard line on the play. Able to see this one continue to make its way through for 221 yards on the way here for Gabe Whipple through the air. 221 again for Whipple. As we see it here for the Wahpeton Huskies, they will come out in a shotgun formation on what could be the final play of quarter number 3 with, again, a running clock here in Kindred. Shotgun formation on the way for Jack Gilbertson. High snap, Gilbertson going to keep this one. Gilbertson trying to bounce his way off a couple of tackles, but eventually it's a tackle for a loss. That'll be a loss of 1 on the play. 11 carries for 29 yards here for Gilbertson. Unless the Huskies hustle to the line here, that will be the final play of the quarter as Wahpeton looks to the far side. Little sugar no huddle here. And that will be the final play of quarter number 3. So for the Kindred Vikings, continuing to extend their lead. It was 26-0 after the first half. They now lead it 47-7 as we head to the fourth quarter.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
As we come back here on YourLiveEvent.com, final quarter here in Kindred for Parents' Night as the Wahpeton Huskies will come out here in the shotgun formation. 2 wide receivers left, one in the near sideline as Jack Gilbertson getting back in that shotgun formation here for Wahpeton. Gilbertson will handle this one off to Peterson, and Kindred right now just flying around defensively, particularly at those linebacker spot. Able to see a handful of guys just make a good read, make a good play, and go and make a stick on a particular football here. Able to see this on the way for Tanner as Mangi makes it right back to the line here in a 3rd down and 12 upcoming. We'll see him into the game. Also coming in here for the Kindred Vikings, Altoff a little bit in. Also Jack Savageau here, a sophomore, getting a run here for Kindred. You also have Jeremy Knight in that middle linebacker spot. Handoff Peterson. Peterson has a lane this time. Peterson with some more than a lane past the 40-yard line. Kindred getting some different faces in, but Peterson will take it right up the gut for a gain of 17. 9 carries, 44 yards, and when you can get some younger guys into the game, always valuable experience, whether you're losing or you're winning. Eli Mack, a sophomore, will play up in the secondary alongside with Asher Swenson, another sophomore here for the Vikings. Kindred able to roll some new guys in defensively. Here's the Huskies. Trying to see if they can put this ball in the end zone for the 2nd time tonight here in the 4th quarter. Shotgun again for Gilbertson. Kindred going back into a little shell defensively here. Play clock down to 2. Handoff to Peterson yet again. Peterson with a shoestring kind of a tackle here from the Vikings. Able to see that one on the outside here for Kindred, but not before it's a gain of 9 yards. Also coming in will be Braden Olson, a junior, as Peterson right now 10 carries for 53 yards. Seeing guys also on the field here in Trenton Teberg. Trey, the sophomore, at 6 foot 180, playing on that defensive end spot here for the Vikings. Brings up 2nd and short. Ball spotted at the Viking 48. As Gilbertson again takes a look at the play clock here. Taking some time with where the score is. Trying to minimize the plays and also trying to minimize injuries for both of these teams. High snap, handoff to Peterson, and the Vikings were ready for that one. Depending on the spot, but where the far official coming in, it looks like that'll be short. Teberg able to get there defensively. Also on the outside, Tanner Mangi here makes it 3rd down and short. So 3rd and short here for the Wahpeton Huskies. Officials tonight of Adam Jones and Craig Schwinden. Adam, the referee, umpire of Schwinden, and linesman Brant Miller with line judge of Travis Martin and the field judge of Dylan Dunn here tonight. It's been a clean night from the penalty category. Only 3 penalties combined between Wahpeton and Kindred. 3rd and about a half a yard here for the Vikings. Isaac Anderson, the center. We'll see this one out of Peterson. Peterson gets the 1st down and some, carrying a Viking with him past the 45 to the 43. It's a gain of 5. So 1st down here for Wahpeton, as they will handle it now. 1st down and 10. Wahpeton and Kindred also in volleyball, in the Region 1 volleyball here this season in the new 3 divisions. They will make their way to Valley City at the high school at the Hack for the Region 1 volleyball tournament. That'll be on November the 10th. We'll have audio-only coverage for you here on YourLiveEvent.com. Shotgun here for Gilbertson. As the play clock works under 5 seconds, yet again, here for Wahpeton. Chewing out some time here on the possession. Gilbertson will throw back shoulder, incomplete, as he was looking for Bonchis. Able to play a little defense on the outside. Here's Jack Savageau, the sophomore, and it's 2nd and 10. As Kindred continues to roll through a handful of some new guys here. Jackson Cub, the 5'9 sophomore, will come on and now play a little defensive line spot here for the Vikings. Also looking like Nudell out there at that nose guard spot. 2nd and 10 here for Kindred. Defensively here against the Huskies, that is. Wahpeton, ball at the 43 of the Vikings. Play clock down to 2. Hand off Peterson to the outside as he will bounce his way past the 42, about the 38, as Brushert here, the senior, comes across to set the edge a little bit. That'll be a gain of 5. 13 carries for 63 yards on the play, brings up 3rd down and 5 with under nearing the 7-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. For the Wahpeton Huskies, trying to avoid a winless season here, they'll have one more chance next week, hosting the Fargo South Bruins. Lost to Jamestown at home to open up the year back in August by 11. With losses at Wofford City and Devils Lake, they gave the Firebirds all they could handle in a 6-point defeat here against Devils Lake back on September the 12th. One more time on the handoff, as this one will get to the 35-yard line, as you saw Braden Olson coming through the gap there before able to get to the 35. It brings up 4th down and short. It's a gain of 3 here for Peterson. Also in conference play or region play, losing to Central Cass 40-0 in Castleton on the Squirrels' homecoming night, a 49-14 loss at Central, and a 55-26 loss at Red River last week in Cushman. Huskies need a good 2 yards here for the first down. That's Gilbertson back in that shotgun formation here. Hand this one off one more time to Peterson. Peterson trying to get there, and a second effort will depend on the spot, but from where we see it here, he needed 2. Second effort probably got a yard, but he didn't get what he needed there for 2. It'll be a gain of 1 and a turnover on downs. And that's how the Wahpeton Huskies will give the ball back here to the Kindred Vikings. And this will be spotted at the 34-yard line. So 6:03 left to go here in the fourth quarter, and Kindred would like to do what Wahpeton did essentially in the first 6 minutes, get a first down or 2, milk this clock, put this one away, and get some new guys into the game as we see it now one more time here for the Vikings. Tannen Johnson up front alongside with Jackson Cubb. And we'll see those guys here as Kindred will come out in a shotgun formation. As the Vikings will see it now with Schliemann in the shotgun formation. This will be a handoff to the near side, and the Vikings able to get back to the line and some here on a Mangy rush. Able to get about 3 on the play. So 3 yards also out here for the Vikings. And Javin Johnson for the Wahpeton Huskies. Able to see Elijah Robertson, Preston Dahl, the junior, coming into the game. Huskies also Austin Fensky here, a sophomore, getting a little bit of a run here in this one. And alongside Chandler Rickaba into the game as well. 2nd down and 7 here for Kindred. Handoff. This one will go to Braden Olson. Olson with the crease to the 50. Olson into Husky territory. And he will be down at around the 47-yard line. That'll be a gain of 16 yards here on the way for Olson. So 1st down and 10 for the Kindred Vikings. Kindred also able to get some new guys in with Luke Campbell. Seeing Schliemann. Mentioned T-Berg defensively. Seeing Trey out here offensively as well. Also Oliver Opgrand here, the 5'11 sophomore, playing on the offensive line here for Kindred. Both teams getting some new faces in here in the fourth quarter in a contest that's a 40-point margin here for the Vikings. As this will be another handoff to the outside. That'll go Olson, and Olson will get stuck at about the 45 for a gain of a couple. So Olson gets a couple of yards on the play for the Wahpeton Huskies. And we'll see Braxton Mickelson here, a junior at 6'2", getting out there defensively for Wahpeton. Barrera as well. Damian, the 5'7 freshman, getting out there at 152 pounds, playing that linebacker spot here for the Huskies. As it's now 2nd down for the Vikings as they take a look at the play clock. Gets to about 5 seconds here. Schliemann in the gun, hands this one off. This will be a rush to the near side to Olson. Olson gets the first down to the 35-30. Olson gets the 25 and wrapped up at about the 21-yard line for a gain of 24. Olson with 3 carries, and he just keeps on a ticking here with 43 yards of offense here on the ground for Olson. Huskies also getting a couple new players into the game. As you see, Jack Dimmer here, a junior. Also on the outside one more time, and Kyler Flack, a freshman at 5'11 at 145 pounds. And Aaron St. Clair, the junior, 5'11", also into the contest here for Wahpeton, and Carter Olswalt, the sophomore. As for the Vikings right now, Schliemann will see this one into the belly of Olsen. Olsen trying to break to the outside, and he is tackled at the 19. It's a gain of 2. So 4 receptions for 47 yards. As we'll see it here, second down upcoming for the Kindred Vikings. Kindred, if you're just joining us in the first half, amassed 353 yards of offense in the first half, at 128 yards on the ground and 225 yards through the air, with 3 different guys with completions of Baco, Theogis, and Whipple in half number 1. Whipple with over 200 yards passing as he went 15 of 15 on the night through the air with a couple of touchdowns, as the Vikings will have a flag and a penalty. Second penalty, this will be of 20 yards and bring 20 yards total, 5-yard variety here for the Vikings. As Kindred can now turn their attention, they'll have one extra day to prep for Central Cass. Central Cass will play Grand Forks Central tomorrow night in Castleton on yourliveevent.com. And barring the conclusion of that game tomorrow, the game against Central Cass and Kindred, if Central Cass wins, could determine the 1 seed in the region. If Central Cass can beat Grand Forks Central, then the 2 teams with the top 2 in the region would be Central Cass and Kindred. That'll be a battle of 1 and 2 in the East End next Friday. That's with a Squirrels win. As the Vikings able to get their way inside the 10, Luke Campbell gets into the game. Campbell with a nice run. Start tallying him up right now. Here for the Vikings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different players have ran the football here tonight for Kindred. All they'll need to do now is take a knee or 2, and this one will be put to bed. But for the Vikings, they'll improve to 4-0 here in the region. For the Wahpeton Huskies, they will drop to 0-4. Red River beat South tonight, so Red River now at 2-2. South is 1-3. Central Cass and Grand Forks Central at 2-1 will play tomorrow evening. As we'll see it here now for the Vikings. They will hand this one off. Trying to get in the end zone, spinning their way down at the 1. It's a gain of 8 here for Olsen. As Olsen gets another rush on the way. If Grand Forks Central, with the loss to Red River, if Grand Forks Central beats Central Cass tomorrow night, the Kindred Vikings are the number 1 seed regardless of the outcome next week against Central Cass. So the Vikings could be the number 1 seed if the Knights beat the Squirrels tomorrow night here in the East. Second and goal, Schliemann in the gun. Looking to pass. This one is going to be batted down, incomplete. And that looks to do it here, unless the Vikings can quickly get to line. But the Kindred Vikings will pick up the win here on this Friday night by a final of 47-7. Both teams scoreless in the 4th quarter. That does it here this evening. At the loss, the Huskies dropped to 0-8 with the win. The Vikings dropped to 8-0. Post-game shows coming up next here from Kindred.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Catch all the action of the fall postseason for Minnesota and North Dakota high school football and volleyball on yourliveevent.com.
Going down the field, it's picked off here from Kindred. Tanning Johnson to the 30, to the 25. Johnson, could he go? Yes, sir! A 45-yard pick six for
Takes it up, played high in the air by Horkin. Here's risky left side off of a touch. Kept alive Thornton. Now played high. Angle, Severson, smash! Count! Good!
Check out the postseason schedule on yourliveevent.com.
As we come back on our post-game show, it's now time to get to our player of the game and our play of the game. Our play of the game is brought to you in part by Agassi Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. Agassi Precision Ag in Hillsboro. Call 701-436-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. We're going to give it on the reversal after they gave it to Baco. Essentially on the reverse, Baco stepped up and threw it down the field to the tight end Starcevic in the end zone for an 11-yard score. That is our play of the game, brought to you in part by Agassi Precision Ag. A little wrinkle, a little bag of tricks offensively. Again, brought to you in part by Agassi Precision Ag. Our player of the game, or players, the offensive line here tonight for the Kindred Vikings, and also from there in Sawyer Hess. But the offensive line was able, part of a 572-yard offensive performance here for the Kindred Vikings, and Kindred was able to do that as well with 250, make that 316 rushing yards here this evening for the Kindred Vikings. Again, 316 on the ground for the Kindred Vikings here in this one. Also, Mr. Hess with 11 carries, 135 yards, and 3 touchdowns for the 5'9" senior Sawyer Hess here in this contest. They are our players of the game, the running back and Sawyer Hess in the offensive line here tonight for the Kindred Vikings, brought to you in part by Enbridge. Go to Enbridge.com for career opportunities. That again is Enbridge.com. So with the loss tonight for Grand Forks Red River, and if Grand Forks Central beats Central Cass tomorrow night, the Vikings would be the #1 seed no matter what the outcome would be a week from tonight. If Central Cass beats Grand Forks Central, then it's winner take all for the 1 seed next week here in Kindred. If Central Cass loses, then they could be anywhere from make that 2, 3, and 4 after Red River lost here against Fargo South. But things will be a little bit more clearer after tomorrow, or at least win and you're the 1, lose and you're the 2. But again, Kindred could possibly be the 1 seed regardless of the outcome next week against the Squirrels if Central Cass loses to Grand Forks Central. Also, some other finals tonight. Fargo South defeats Grand Forks Red River by a final of 20-14. That was in AA football. Also in AA football for a couple of games that were going on out west here this evening. Bismarck St. Mary's over Watford City 35-12. Minot North all over Jamestown 49-14. So Minot North picks up a West Region win, and also Bismarck St. Mary's picks up a win over Watford City. 11A football, Carrington gets by Thompson 26-0. Langdon Area Munich with a 42-0 win over Grafton here this evening, and Park River area over Harvey Wells County 16-6, and then you had Lisbon over Sargent County 6-0 in 11A football. So those are a look at some of your scores as we continue here. Whipple able to go through the air, had himself a nice performance, goes 15 of 15 through the air here for Whipple for 221 yards and a couple touchdowns. Baco goes 1 for 2 with a touchdown and a pick, and Thiel just goes 1 for 1 for 24 yards, as well as we mentioned Sawyer Hess 11 carries for 135 yards on the ground with the hat trick. Baco 8 receptions, able to get 2 touchdowns and 114 yards. Starcevic got in the end zone, 7 receptions for 121 yards as well here for the Kindred Vikings. While for the Wahpeton Huskies, they were led by Peterson, 15 carries for 67 yards. Steffen, 6 receptions for 87 yards and a touchdown here for Wahpeton. For the Huskies, they had 1 turnover in the game, and the same here for the Kindred Vikings with 1 turnover here tonight. Penalties, 2 for 20 yards for Kindred and 2 for 10 yards here for the Wahpeton Huskies. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hear from the winning team here for Kindred. Also from there, we'll take a look at the final across the state of North Dakota one more time. Also a note here, the Kindred Vikings since 2021 are now 54 and 57. 54 wins in 57 games here since 2021. We'll hear from the coach after this here for the Vikings.
Make your stop before or after the game at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. Stop out throughout the week for mouth-watering lunch specials weekdays and mark Friday nights down on the calendar for prime rib, ribeye steak, or some walleye at the Knickerbocker. For more information or to find out about daily specials, give the Knickerbocker a like on Facebook by searching the Knickerbocker. Great food and good people. You can find it all at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota.
Buying a new home, but worried about the interest rate and terms from your bank? At First Class Mortgage, we'll find a mortgage that fits your needs. Shopping national banks and other lenders for the lowest rate and most affordable terms. Saving you time and money. So all you need to worry about is enjoying your new home. First Class Mortgage. Our expertise, your peace of mind. Put an expert to work for you. Call today.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial sales and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
High school football tonight here on YourLiveEvent.com. Join us, the head coach for the Kindred Vikings, that is Eric Bergad. And Eric, for you guys just to come in and really have a tone-setting drive to start things off offensively, get up early, get the ball, turnover on downs. Wahpeton, driving at the 5. You had a couple of 90-plus yard scoring drives in the first half. Just what did you like about your team's start here tonight against the Wahpeton Huskies, Eric?
One in the first quarter offensively. I thought a lot of guys touched the ball and just good distribution and just good punch and get off from our offensive line. And I thought they displayed that the entire night. And, we called on them in the second half that we wanted to be able to bleed some clock and run the ball at the end. And I feel like that's 2 weeks in a row that we did that well. So happy with that. And then on the defensive side of the ball, felt like they were knocking on the door a couple times. We talk about it as a group, like the only stat that matters is points. And, you can bend, don't break, and you really got to stiffen up when they're knocking on the door, and we did that well.
Able to have just a balanced attack when Sawyer can get going. Obviously, you had the fullback dive to Fisher as well, open up some lanes and company. What does it just do when you can get a halfback, a fullback, maybe have a little jet action, and you're going either through the A gap, you're able to get to the end and set the boundary. What does that just do offensively?
First, I think it's just really tough for a defense. Like, what do you want to try to stop? So, again, good game plan coming in, I thought, by Coach Starr and the guys that, got called on. They were there to make the play, and they were ready, and we saw that.
Let's go through a little trickery here before Halloween. Able to run that end around to Baco, throws it to Starcevic. Just take us through in terms of what you saw execution from your guys on that one to get in the end zone.
Kind of fancy, kind of fun, but it's when you can execute plays like that. Again, it's hard on a defense because you want to sell out. We have a solid rushing attack, so then, when you're able to hit a play like that, it just kind of leaves the defense scratching their head. So, well done.
Eric, last thing that I'll have for you, you get ready, obviously, next week to have a rivalry game, last regular season game with Central Cass. What's the message to the club now as you get to the final week of the regular season before you get to that playoff run?
Just come to work. Come be consistent. Do what we do. We'll do what we always do throughout the week, and we'll be ready on Friday night.
Eric, thanks so much for your time. Looking forward to talking with you next week.
Yeah, thank you.
That again, Eric Bergad will continue with more after this.
Was almost immediately over the top with the customer service. I've just never ever experienced that before with any other auction service. They're constantly working for me as the seller, and I really like that.
Purple Wave Auction is straight, simple, sold.
The Ringneck is the perfect stop for lunch or dinner in Leonard, North Dakota. They have a wide variety menu from burgers, wraps, steak, chicken, and seafood. For that small-town family-owned dining experience, check out the Ringneck today. To place an order ahead of time for takeout, call 701-645-2461. That's 701-645-2461. For more information and daily food specials, search the Ringneck on Facebook. That's the Ringneck in Leonard.
Brooks Baco now joining us here on our post-game show. We had him down for this evening, just going back through the stats. 8 catches for 114 yards, couple touchdowns, got a throwing touchdown as well here for Brooks to Mr. Starcevic. Brooks, just kind of what you see from your team? Similar question I asked Eric, just to come out right off the bat, get in the end zone, make a stop defensively. Huskies on their second drive got close to the end zone. You make a stand on turnover on downs at the 5-yard line. Just what did you like from your team, particularly in the first 12 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like we came out to play. We were playing fast. Our first drive on offense was super dominant. I think we had like 4 plays, and we scored a touchdown, and they're all first down. So, I mean, we can do that. Kind of just opens up everything. So really proud of the guys.
Able to have Luke here tonight, just taking a look back through here. 7 catches, 121 yards. He gets in the end zone as well. When he can get going offensively with his particular skill set, how does that just help out the rest of the guys here offensively?
Yeah, he's a big boy that can move. So, I mean, not a lot of DBs want to tackle him. So when he gets in space, I mean, he's fast. He can run. He can juke. He can stiff arm. He can do all that. And then he's also a great blocker, so he can just kind of do a little bit of everything.
Let's talk about both the offense and defensive line. Offensive line opening up the holes for Sawyer and company. Defensively getting after the quarterback here. When those guys can pin their ears back, but then also offensively open up the lanes. How fun is that to see just from your perspective?
Yeah, those guys don't get enough credit. They're the backbone of our team. We can't do anything without them. They set the tone every game, and they can move bodies. It's impressive.
Brooks, how fun is it to play on the home turf, right? You got used to Horace for 3 of your first 4 games. Homecoming night win against South, a win here against Wahpeton. You get Central Cass here next week on Friday. But how fun is it with the new track to play on this, so to speak, I'm going to call it new turf with just the new sod out there here for a couple games?
Yeah, I love it. Our community always shows up and supports. It's a big crowd every night. Student section's popping, so I expect it to be even bigger next week.
It should be a lot of fun. We'll see you then, Brooks. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Take one more break and hear from another victorious Viking around the corner.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the 3-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner 3. Good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
As we continue on the post-game show here, join us, one of the man up front in the center position, Mr. Brody Malk, the junior here, opening up some lanes for his teammates and company with Sawyer Hess and Graham when he had the opportunity, Miles and company. Brody, let's just talk about when you hear a run play, particularly as a lineman, what's going through your mind, whether it's a power play, a sweep, just something where you can get off the line?
Yeah, we're just getting them moved and making those holes for our running backs.
Able to get a couple of big plays, particularly after that kickoff on a fumble. Able to get a really nice play by Miles Steele just there, able to get in the end zone. When you see whether it's Sawyer, Miles, anybody that kind of has an alley, what does that kind of do for you guys just carrying on to that next play when you can get chunk plays of first downs or 30-yard plays?
Yeah, it just gets us all hyped up and ready to get to the next play and get going.
For you, what's the message on the offensive line? Every game there's something, maybe every year there's something a little bit different, but what's this year's offensive line, group? What's gelling so well for this team this season?
We're all just really good friends, and we all just have the same minds, feels like. We're all just on the same page.
What do you like more? Double team? Do you like polling? What's kind of going through your mind as a center? What's a play call that as a center you really like, particularly when it comes to the run game?
Yeah, I really like double teaming with Lincoln. It's really good. I like doing that a lot.
For you going forward here, Brody, what do you want to carry over? You got at least 2 more games, one in the regular season. We'll see what the playoffs and where everything kind of lands from there. But what's one thing you want to carry over next week to the last game of the regular season, and more importantly, once you get to some, later on for playoff football?
Yeah, just moving bodies and getting going. Just get after it.
For you, Brody, when you get a trick play call, when we saw the one from Baco to Starcevic, able to see Miles as well make a play, are you ears perk up a little bit? Do your eyes light up a little bit? When you hear that play call coming in from Mr. Whipple, they're calling it, what kind of goes through your mind as a center?
Yeah, I don't even know Brooks was going to throw the ball. I don't know. I just kind of blocked and then I come back at sideline. Oh, Brooks threw the ball. That's what I was thinking.
It worked out pretty well regardless, able to get a good rushing game tonight. Congratulations on the win and best of luck next week.
Thank you.
We'll put a bow on this one next. Again, the center, Brody, with us here from the Kindred Vikings.
and that means harvest will ramp up quickly. How did your planter do this spring? Did you have the correct down pressure? Was your singulation spot on? Did you need row cleaners or a better closing system? This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Have a safe and profitable harvest.
Again, your final up at Cushman Field, Red River 20-14 loses to Fargo South. So the Kindred Vikings can end up being the number 1 seed if Grand Forks Central beats Central Cass. They would automatically be the number 1 seed via the head-to-head tiebreaker with the win. So again, Kindred could be the 1 seed if Grand Forks Central is able to defeat Central Cass. If Central Cass wins against Grand Forks Central, then it becomes a winner-take-all showdown between Central Cass and Kindred next week, as the winner then would be the 1. Central Cass could potentially drop underneath the 2 line, barring the outcome of the Cushman Classic then moving forward. But again, if Central Cass picks up a win tomorrow night, winner-take-all is the number 1 seed here next week between the Squirrels and the Vikings. If Central Cass loses to Grand Forks Central, Kindred then is automatically number 1. The 2, 3, and 4 line would have to get figured out, and Fargo South still has a chance to make the playoffs moving forward as well. Out west again, Bismarck St. Mary's 35-12 over Watford City here this evening, and Minot North able to get by the Jamestown Blue Jays as well. So Minot North now 4-0 in the West region with a win. Jamestown drops to 0-4. St. Mary's 2-2, and Watford City 2-2 as well. The Kindred Vikings will be playing next again on Friday night, 8 days from this evening, next Friday against Central Cass Squirrels. We'll have that for you on yourlivevent.com. Next Kindred broadcast, volleyball, Monday, when they welcome in Hillsborough Central Valley here to Kindred. Until then, I'm Chase Miller. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight for high school football in Kindred, and join us for more high school sports tomorrow night as well. I'll be in Castleton with the Squirrels and the Knights. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. We'll be back for more sports tomorrow here on yourlivevent.com.